Keep the moves on tuck, I know it's all up. Everything good, keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good, know it's all love, know it's all love. I've been feeling like I'm feeling like a man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can. Only you move me to the rhythm.
Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kelly and I upload twice a week. And today's video, we are tackling this pantry and doing a massive budget-friendly DIY makeover and transforming this space into a more organized and functional space in the kitchen. And so this is going to be part 5 of my extreme spring clean with me series I've been doing on my channel, where I'm going throughout my entire home, room by room, space by space, deep cleaning, decluttering, and reorganizing my entire home before the end of spring. And this space in the home has been on my list for a while now. We haven't done anything to this pantry since we moved in 2011 or 2012. And so it feels really good and kind of scary to redo a space like this, like a space in the kitchen, because when you have guests over, a lot of time is spent in the kitchen and you just want things to look nice and organized and clean. And so this space is definitely the catch-all space in the kitchen for things that I just do not know what to do with. And some days it's just easier to just throw it in the pantry to deal with later, but then I forget about it, and that's my pantry is always a disaster. So we are removing the pantry doors, having it as an open space, and then building some cabinets and making this almost like a second countertop space. We're also going to be adding ceiling lights and a feature wall, which I am so excited for. Again, this is all going to be DIY'd. You can totally do this all yourself. Definitely budget friendly. Like when everything was said and done, the total cost was $400, where we could have easily paid someone $4,000 with everything that we ended up doing. And it's just the best feeling to have a more organized space, especially when it's in a place like the kitchen where you spend a lot of time. So I truly hope that this inspires you to tackle an at-home DIY project or reorganize a space in your home, because life gets messy. It's something that we all have to deal with, but you don't have to do this alone. We can tackle this together. And if you are totally redoing a space with me, or deep cleaning, or reorganizing, or decluttering, be sure to take a before picture and an after picture, post it to Instagram and tag me. I'm at Kelly Hosbrook, so that we can all see your transformations. And there is just truly nothing more satisfying than seeing the befores and afters of all your hard work. So be sure to click that thumbs up button if you like this video. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments while watching, because I truly love hearing from you. And then let's go. Let's get to cleaning and reorganizing. You can do it with me. And so first thing we wanted to do was to clear everything out of the pantry, including the shelves, which the ones I'm taking down I got from Amazon and was my sad attempt at trying to make this pantry make sense. And then also taking down these wire racks too, which I was so happy to see go, because I do not like our wire racks. We have them in every closet in our home, and I just don't like how they look. I don't like how everything seems to fall in between the cracks of the shelf, but also taking them off was a disaster too, because they left like a million massive holes in the wall, because we ended up having to almost like rip them out of the wall, which then also left drywall all over the floor. So just a forewarning, if you have these same types of shelving in your home, definitely make sure that you have plenty of spackle and your vacuum is on hand, because it was a mess. So just spackling a million holes in the wall so that we can go ahead and paint in here, which, as you may notice, the wall color in the pantry is a completely different color from the rest of the kitchen. And that would be because the paint color in the pantry is the original color of the house when we moved in, which really just shows how little we've done in this pantry. Honestly, I think it was really just because it would have been too much of a pain to take off the shelves. But now that those are gone, I can get in there, give it a fresh coat of paint, which I decided to just do like a pure white, so no tint or color added to the walls, and also the cabinets we'll be building, just to really make this space pop. And also, as I already mentioned, we'll be doing a feature wall in here to make it stand out even more. And I was just so excited to get started. Like, I honestly hardly slept the night before because I was ready to get in here, tear everything out, deep clean, and rebuild it in a way that I like. And I have to tell you, after this project, it just made me fall in love with my home that I've been living in for 12 years all over again. And I am not going to sugarcoat it. This ended up being a lot of hard work and also a multi-day project. We also ran to Home Depot about 57 times throughout this. I was just absolutely exhausted even after day one, but I am so glad that we did. And I feel a million times better that we just bit the bullet and got it done. And so just finishing up the clean inside here by giving the floors a good vac mop. They were so gross. And even though the floors are going to be covered by the cabinets, I still wanted to make sure that they were nice and clean before. I also wanted to wipe down the baseboard back here. We're keeping the back baseboard, but the two side baseboards we're actually taking out since that's where the cabinets are going. And so now Tyler's just making some of the cuts he needs so that we can start building the cabinets. And when I say we, by the way, I mean, it's going to be mostly him building this because I am clearly not the handyman. I like to do all of like the spackling, and the painting is just so satisfying to me. I also love decorating too and just making the space look really, really nice. But he takes my vision and just puts it together and it just makes it happen somehow. I definitely wouldn't have been able to do any of this without him. So bless him for going along with all of my crazy ideas. But now we're getting the cabinets set up, and one thing that we definitely noticed while we were putting this together are the countertops. So for the countertops, we wanted to have something that was a little bit more sturdy. We originally got these like more thin, like almost like project boards for the countertops. And our original plan was to reinforce them with some wood going underneath them. Just because it would have saved quite a bit of money. And, I'm all about, being budget friendly and saving money. But one thing that you do not want to cheat on is the sturdiness of your cabinets, especially if you're planning on putting heavier objects on them. So we made a Home Depot run, the first of many runs, by the way, and picked up some more boards, just some that were a bit more sturdy and that looked nicer. We also picked out the stain for the countertops, which I picked out heather gray, and also we picked up the white paint too. But also I wanted to pick out the doorknobs for the cabinets, which I saw these really cute wood ones that we could also stain to match the countertops. And these are the ones that I actually ended up going with, but I'm not gonna lie, there were so many options and this took me a really long time to decide on, just because, do I want to do gold or brushed nickel or silver? And so I guess I ended up deciding on wood. But yeah, there were just a lot of options, and I feel like I'm really indecisive when it comes to these little things anyways. But I did end up really loving the cabinet handles that I ended up picking out. But Home Depot definitely has a great selection. But now we're back at home getting the cabinet set up. Actually, Tyler's working on the countertop there, but this was definitely the most time-consuming part of the project, just getting the frame of the cabinets built. Also painting too, because we had a lot of painting to do. And obviously this would have been way easier to just, pay someone to come in and do this professionally, albeit a little bit more expensive. But Tyler and I genuinely love doing DIY projects together, especially when life feels like really crazy like it is right now. And our schedules being filled with work and sports and our kids' school activities. And I don't know, it's just so nice to have this time to work together and to chat and just have fun and see what we come up with. It's not going to be perfect like how a professional would make it, but it's just that much more special that we built this together. So now we are on day 2 of this extreme pantry makeover, and it's still early in the morning, which is why I have my workout clothes on, but I wanted to get started on this right away because we still have a ton to get to. We got a lot done yesterday, pretty much got up like the framework of like the cabinets, and so you can kind of see what everything is going to look like. It's really, really exciting. But today for day 2, we're going to be doing a lot of like staining and painting, like painting the walls, painting the cabinets, staining the countertops. We're gonna also do like a feature wall, which is something that we decided to do while we were at the gym. So we stopped on the way home and got a few things for that. So we're gonna be setting up a feature wall today too. Basically just trying to get as much done as we possibly can. Like I know we still need to do like the organizing inside the cabinets and like decluttering all the pantry items, and also like decorating and like all that fun stuff. So this might go into day 3, but my main goal today is basically just to get everything like painted, stained, like all the cabinets set up, like everything, you know, where it needs to be, the feature wall set up, so that then tomorrow we can do all the fun stuff, which is just organizing and, you know, decorating and making everything look, you know, really nice and super efficient. So I'm gonna show you really quick though, like kind of what we're doing and like the progress that's been made so far, and then we'll jump right into it. Okay, so here's what we've done so far, which it doesn't really look like a lot, but we have the framework up for the cabinets. Tyler has the countertops. He has them out. He's staining those right now, which I'll insert some footage of him doing that in just a minute because he's filming it. God bless him. He's been such a trooper on this project. But I have like all the holes and, you know, everything like spackled, and I do need to wipe the wall down. There's a lot of stains. You know, this used to be our food pantry, so there's just like a lot of food, and also like cobwebs are up in the corners. I don't know if you can see them or not, but yeah, just the whole wall just needs a really good wipe down. Okay, so basically step 1, I'm gonna wipe down the walls, get it dusted, like wipe down any of like the stains and get like all the cobwebs off of it. Then we're gonna get the cabinet doors on and the countertops as well. I'm gonna paint the cabinets. We're gonna paint those white too. We're gonna get the feature walls set up. And then after that, then we can get all of this mess cleaned up, because I feel like every single time I do a DIY project, it just completely destroys our house. But I'm just trying to think of the end goal. I'm super excited. I just know it's gonna look really, really good. So let's get right to work.
Giving up your dreams to your silly demons. We're diamonds in the dust, so why can't you see it?
And so after wiping all of the walls down and getting all the stains off of them, and also all of these cobwebs out of the corners of the wall, which honestly, looking back on it, I kind of wish I would have used a vacuum instead because it was so gross. But now we can start painting. And again, I decided to go with pure white for the walls and for the cabinets too, just to brighten this space up. And then also to add some contrast, we'll be staining the countertops heather gray, which is kind of like a light brownish gray. It's kind of like the same color as the top of our island, but I was just so ready to finally get rid of that brown paint. And I just love painting. Like, I'm one of those people that I could paint all day and I'll just turn on some music, which is what I did here, or I'll turn on a show. And honestly, I can kind of just mentally check out for the day. I did not enjoy it this time as much. However, if I could go back, I definitely would have painted the walls the day before, like before the cabinet frame was built, because it was in my way the entire time while I was painting. And also adding paint to the roller. Also, the walls took 3 coats of paint to fully cover the brown, where the wood cabinets only took 2. And constantly just ducking under the frame wasn't helping at all. I woke up the next day and my back was so sore after this. But after getting everything painted, even without the cabinet doors on or even the countertops on, which Tyler is either currently staining the countertops right now or he's making the 30th Home Depot run, after seeing everything painted, you can kind of already see it coming together. So I am just so glad that I did end up pushing through and getting everything painted, because there were so many times that I just wanted to call it a night, because seeing that kind of gave me a boost to get everything done that night with a little bit of cleanup the next morning. But we didn't end up going to bed until 1:30 in the morning, but waking up and coming downstairs and just seeing everything done and looking amazing and the way that I've always wanted it was just the best feeling.
They don't know you like I do. Like I do. They don't know you like I do.
And so when painting the walls and also the cabinets, I just use a large roller and also like a little foam brush just to get into like the cracks and the corners. And now I'm just moving on to painting like the front part of the cabinets, which is like where the doors are. And I'll also be using polyurethane on this top piece and the bottom as well after they dry, which I 100% recommend using polyurethane when painting things like cabinets, countertops, doors, or baseboards, because one, it gives it a really nice shine, but also it helps protect the paint from getting chipped or wearing or from staining. So I'll also be using polyurethane on the cabinet doors too, since those get touched a lot, just to help protect them and keep its bright white color.
I wanna speak my mind and tell you how I feel, but it's like talking.
And now we are finally done with at least the bulk of the painting. And honestly, the most satisfying part is taking this tape off, which you can tell I am not a perfect painter. Like, I just get it all over the place, including myself. And we also put a middle piece up between like the two cabinet doors. I have no idea what happened to that footage, but now we are putting on the gorgeous countertops. I just love the color of them. I showed it at the beginning, but I will leave it in the description box just in case you are interested. I just think it's a really nice color, especially as a contrast to white. But now we are getting started on our feature wall. This was actually a last minute plan where I just saw a picture on Pinterest and I was like, you know what, we really just got to go for it. So we got this unfinished wood from Home Depot, which is the cheaper option. And then we can just sand it down and paint it, which I'm also going to paint this white and put like a shiny coat of polyurethane on it to make them stand out. And so people are going to ask, why didn't you sand and paint the wood before hanging them? And the answer is, I have no idea. We do not know what we are doing, but with a lot of prayer and patience, this turned out perfectly. This is the first time we're doing anything like this to our house, but I think we did pretty good. But we are now framing in the top and bottom, and then we're gonna start with our vertical boards. So just figuring out where we want them, and then Tyler is using his power tool and screws to pop the boards into place. And this looks so easy from afar, and when it's sped up too. I guess once you get into the rhythm, it's easy. The hardest part was the measurements for sure, because we wanted to make sure that it was perfectly even so that everything lines up, which there's a few parts that weren't perfect with cracks, but I just filled them in with spackle and you can't even tell. Like, it all looks like one piece of wood, which, speaking of measurements, by the way, if you're wondering why we're keeping this post here in the middle, that's because it's a support beam. So we kind of need it, but also we found out while doing this project that it's crooked. So our measurements were a little off when building our cabinets, but we made the adjustments and you can't even tell anything is off. Even though now that I know, I can see that our post is slightly crooked, but oh well, at least it adds character. And then after sanding the feature wall boards, I'm just going to lay down some tape so that I don't get any tape on the fresh countertops. And then I'm going to start painting after laying these towels down, because I'm really trying not to get paint on those countertops. And getting started on painting, I 10 out of 10 recommend painting these before you hang them on the wall, because honestly, it just took me so much longer. I had to keep switching between the roller and the foam brush, and it just took me like probably about 10 times the amount of time that it would have taken me if I would have just done it before I put them on the wall. But seeing everything come together, I was just so excited, and seeing the countertops down. Really all that we really need to do is just put the cabinet doors on and get everything organized back in there. I was especially excited to have this space, a more functional part of the kitchen too, because we love to host, Christmas and Thanksgivings. And I don't know about you, but usually around halfway through the party, like my countertops and my island just look totally trashed. So it's really nice to also have some extra counter space, and I can already picture, serving drinks on there or meals, and it just makes me really, really excited. And before I talk through everything, Tyler just ran a power line through the wall and set up an outlet so that we can plug in these ceiling puck lights. And we found these at Home Depot. These are $30 for a pack of 3. And so we ended up getting 2 packs. These ended up working out perfectly because since this wall is in kind of like a little alcove, we wanted to add some lighting to brighten the space up. But we also did not want to have to spend a bunch of money on it and then also have to drill massive holes to fit the lights in. But these just stick right on the ceiling. We did have to sand down the spot where we wanted to put it because we have a stomped ceiling, but these were really, really easy to install and comes with a remote too, so you can change between regular lights and LED lights. I was honestly on the fence about adding these, but I am so glad that I did because they added the perfect amount of lighting to this space. They are really, really bright lights, so they put out 660 lumens, if that means anything to you. I don't know, but you can also dim them too. So you have control over how bright the lights are. And my kiddo too definitely approves of them as well. He just loves the LED function. He's already been down here just playing with the LED lights and putting it on what he calls party mode, where it like flashes all the different lights. But it's really, really affordable. It was super easy to set up and I definitely recommend them. But now I'm going to get started on spackling. So basically I'm a perfectionist and I just could not stand looking at like the screw holes where we went to fasten in the boards and also just like the imperfections in the wood too. So I'm just taking my finger and just putting on like a little bit of spackle so that I can go in and sand and then just give the boards a final coat of paint too.
Can it just be us tonight? Under the night sky, can I make my skin rise? Can it just be us tonight? Do you believe in magic? Comes from the inside. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Comes from the inside. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Comes from the inside. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic?
And now we're getting started on adding some polyurethane just so that we can protect the wood and make it nice and shiny. And you're going to instantly see a difference in how shiny it makes. For the back wall, I used a flat white paint and then used polyurethane on the accent part, and it just really made it stand out. I mean, you can instantly see that it is way more shinier, and I just think it just adds that nice little touch to the dimensions of the wall. And then also I'm going to add some polyurethane to the countertops as well. But first I wanted to give it a good wipe down because there was just a lot of drywall that was all over the countertops. So giving that a good wipe down using the lemon scented Mrs. Meyer cleaner, and then I'll go and add in a layer of polyurethane. After we get this done, then we will finally add the cabinet doors. Definitely starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I want to say it was somewhere around 11 o'clock by the time that we actually got the cabinet doors on. So it was getting really, really late, but I was just so determined to get everything done tonight so that I can come downstairs in the morning and just see everything fresh and new and organized, and just to see all the hard work that we put in. I mean, there's just truly no better feeling than that. But also, I really just did not want this to go into day 3 because we had a soccer game scheduled the next day, and I just really needed to rest and recover from this massive project. So I am just so grateful that we just powered on. And now we're just adding the shelves inside the cabinet, and then after that we're also going to add the doors on. I will be painting like the outside of the door, but the inside of the door and the shelves are gonna have to wait for another day, like I don't know, this weekend or something. But it was getting really, really late at this point, and I just wanted to get everything, at least the outside all painted. And I still had to add 2 coats of paint to this, and then also the polyurethane, and then on top of that all of the dry time. And then also get everything decluttered and organized back in. So I took a little bit of a shortcut, but we will get it done at some point soon. So, oh well.
I can feel the heat is rising
And so we have party mode on, so it is time to declutter and get everything organized into these cabinets, starting with these bins, which I'm going to keep everything in these bins, but I normally keep like my smaller kitchen items, so like my toaster and my blender and a waffle maker. All those like smaller kitchen items I keep in these bins just to help keep them more organized inside the cabinets. And they did need a really good wipe out, especially because of the toaster just had tons of crumbs at the bottom of these bins. So getting them all nice and clean and wiped down before getting everything organized back into them. And so now just getting all of my smaller kitchen tools organized back into these bins. And I have said it a million times, but I'll say it again. Bins are absolutely the way to go if you want to organize like a bunch of different items together and still just make this space look more organized, especially like inside of a cabinet. There's really like no way to efficiently organize things. So I feel like bins just make it easier to make everything separated and to organize like things together as well. Another thing that I've been loving for organization lately that I recently found on Amazon are these organizing bins that you can stick inside of your cabinet door. And so I'm going to be using those to help organize these cabinets too, to help organize my trash bags and smaller cleaning tools. I actually shared these in a recent video where I declutter and reorganize inside my guest bathroom cabinet, and they are so handy in keeping your cabinet organized. So I'll be sure to leave the link for these in the description box just in case you find them helpful too. And now everything is set up and organized and looking amazing besides the rest of the downstairs. It was a total disaster. I mean, this is just what happens every time we do a DIY project or any type of makeover. It just completely destroys our house. So I'm going to go through and just put everything back where it belongs, organize anything else that I need to inside of the cabinet, but mostly just take things where they actually belong. Because again, this pantry has been a catch-all space. So most of the stuff that was in there didn't belong there in the first place, like decorations and wrapping paper from Christmas and books. So again, just taking everything where they actually belong, push the kitchen table back and get everything reset and cleaned up for the next day, or at least as much as I possibly can.
Let's get it on, we got it going, stay strong. It looks like we're.
So again, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if you can see the timer in the kitchen, but it is really, really late. So the last thing that I wanted to do was just clear off the island. And then I could get everything wiped down and vac mop the next day. But then my camera died on me. So I decided to just call it a night and then get everything wiped down the next day. So we're just going to wipe down the countertops on the island since we kind of just used it as like a project table. And then also get the kitchen table reset and also give the floors a really good vac mop because they were so dusty and dirty. I hadn't cleaned them in the last 2 days because I figured, you know, what's the point? Because we were working and I just knew we were going to get messed up anyways. And then I'm just going to clear off this countertop space once again because Tyler's putting on the doorknobs on the cabinet doors. I'll show you like a complete full view at the very end because even though we had kind of a busier day this day with like a soccer game, we still kind of worked throughout the day and kind of tweaking little things here and there. Like I know Tyler restained the countertop and put another coat of polyurethane on it just to make it look extra shiny and a little bit more professional. And we just kind of tweaked around with a few things. So I will show you kind of a full view of everything at the very end. But I am just so excited to finally have this pantry cleared out and also just to have it a more functioning space and just a more clean looking and more organized space in general. Again, this was a really scary project to tackle. We had no idea, what we were doing or what we're getting ourselves into. Again, we made like 57 trips to Home Depot. We really just had a vision and we just went for it. And so I truly hope this motivates you and inspires you to tackle your own at-home DIY projects. You can totally do it and you only live once, so why not have your home the way that you want it to look? Thank you again so much for watching today's video. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, loves.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art.
Well, hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kelly and I upload twice a week. Today's video, we are doing an extreme master closet renovation where we're tearing everything out of the closet, doing a massive clothes declutter, but most importantly, building a closet storage organization system that is more functional and doable while on a budget. I'll show you in just a minute our kind of current setup, but it's a very boring and basic closet. It's been the same for the past like 15 years. And I just feel like we can get a lot more out of the space. So I truly hope this video gives you tons of motivation. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into this. So the vision is to obviously take everything out, rip out these wire racks, put 2 rows of clothes here with maybe some more like shelves and bins for whatever. I honestly don't know how I'm gonna organize this yet. But then this back wall is just gonna be nothing but like drawers and like shelves and cubbies, and just so that we can have like more organization options. Again, I have no idea how I'm going to organize this. It's kind of one of those things where I just have to set it up to see how I'm going to organize it. So we have the vision, a lot of planning went into this. It's just, how is this actually going to turn out? We already went to Home Depot. That was in my last video where we actually got all of the supplies. So if you wanna see exactly what we got, you can check that video out after this one. We spent $200 there. So I'm really trying to keep this DIY project around like $300. And again, not that $300 is nothing, but this is definitely going to be a more affordable and doable option than, getting those professional closet organization systems that cost like thousands of dollars. But anyways, we have a ton to get to. So I think first up, I'm just going to take all the clothes, everything out of this closet. Then we're going to rip out the racks and just go from there. So first up, let's just open up a window to change the air. Also, we're finally getting our first burst of spring weather in Ohio and just love having the windows open as much as I can. And now let's start taking everything out of the closet that's not bolted into place. So like all the storage bins and clothes and shoes. Thankfully, my side of the closet was pretty easy to clear out since we recently did a pre-spring declutter. I think it was 2 videos ago, and just so grateful to have done that. Otherwise, I think I would have literally lost my mind. Not only doing a huge closet renovation, but then have to turn around and do like a massive declutter and reorganize. I mean, there's still things that I knew I could get rid of. Tyler's side of the closet, however, hasn't been touched in years and just needs some serious help. There's just so many things he didn't remember that he had. His jeans, there's just no organization at all, and just ready to see less in here and have a better organization system in our closet. Because when you have less clothes, it's way easier to, keep things organized, makes putting away laundry easier. Not that there's less laundry, but everything has a place and it fits in the space that it needs to go. And if you've been following my channel, you know that I have like an F- in folding and putting away laundry. So honestly, anything that will help with that. As you can see, we have a very basic wire closet system. We only have about 3 pre-built spots where we can actually hang or put things. And just looking at it, I feel like there is so much potential storage space that's just being wasted. And this is just kind of how my brain works. I'm always looking at my home as a blank canvas and just thinking like, how can I make this better and more functional for myself and my family? And now I'm off to just go and set these bins on fire. But we've been in this home for about 14 years. So most of the spaces in our home look exactly the way that it did when we moved in. But last year, I feel like is when we decided that we just need to start changing things. Like we completely redid the master bedroom, the boys' bathroom, the kitchen pantry, and we've just been really having so much fun changing things around the home. I'm thinking my goal for this year is to systematically get rid of all of these wire racks in the house because I hate them. We had a ton in the kitchen pantry that we got rid of last year, and then we recently redid the spare bedroom closet, and now we're doing it in here. The next areas that I want to do coming up soon are like the linen closet and the laundry room. So if you enjoy watching DIY projects, home renovations, or just watching someone who is way in over their head, be sure to subscribe and have your notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the home projects coming up this year. But now I'm just unscrewing and using channel locks to pull out like 130 rack hangers that I will have to patch up, which is really exciting for me. But after pulling everything out, it's so crazy how much piles up without you even realizing it. Clothes, shoes, random boxes, things you forgot you even had. And honestly, life can get like that too. Responsibilities, stress, things on your mind, it piles up over time. Projects like this reminds me how good it feels to clear things out, make space, and change things, not just in your home, but mentally too. And as you saw before we cut away, the floors were absolutely disgusting. Clearly they haven't been thoroughly cleaned in a while. There were just lots of dust bunnies and dirt and dog fur. And since it's not every day that you get to see your closet completely cleared out, I'm just taking this opportunity to give the floors a really good clean. First with my vac mop, but then I just noticed there was some weird sticky residue on the floor. No idea, but my vac mop wasn't able to get it up. So I'm just going to take a microfiber cloth that's soaked in really hot water and multi-purpose cleaner and just hand scrubbing my floors instead. Okay, so update. We have everything pulled out. The entire room is a disaster. I already know this is gonna take us more than one day, and I have no idea how I'm gonna sleep tonight. So as you can see, the entire room is completely trashed with just everything that we had crammed in that closet. I seriously could not wait until we do a declutter of everything. But while we were doing that, Tyler went ahead and put together this dresser that we picked up from IKEA for $130. We just wanted something that was a bit more structurally sound with drawers that we could have for inside the closet. So I don't know, maybe that's cheating, but it is what it is. And then in here, we have everything pulled out. I got everything ripped out of the walls. I definitely need to do kind of like a spackle job and like plug up all of these holes. I definitely know that we need to like just repaint this entire closet because the entire thing is just scratched up. I mean, look over here. So yeah, it's definitely gonna need a really good paint job in here, but we're also gonna have to paint the entire closet organization system since it's just wood. So everything's getting painted white, so I figure I'm just gonna wait until everything is hung up. And then we'll just paint everything, the walls, the shelves, the dresser, everything is gonna get painted white. So let's just completely ignore the disaster that's unfolding in my bedroom. Tonight, I am just gonna focus on the closet. So my next step is just using some spackle, plugging up all those holes from where like I ripped the racks out. And then we can do what I think is the most exciting part, which is getting like all of the like shelves hung, the storage organization systems, like everything put into place.
And then tomorrow, then we can just focus on like painting the walls and painting the shelves, painting the dresser. It's gonna be so much painting. And then we can move on to like decluttering and just figuring how we wanna organize everything back in. Realistically, this is gonna take me about 3 days to do. So yeah, still a ton that we need to get done. So let's get started on spackling next.
I do not like spackling. However, I do love not having like 100 holes in my walls. So just thinking of it that way, I guess, this is honestly just how I cope. Also, did you know the end of your putty knife is also for smoothing out the edges before you spackle? I didn't. That's why I'm asking, but it really does just help with giving you that smooth finish, because if you have to spackle your walls, you might as well make it look as good as you can. But I was super motivated to get this done after seeing the new dresser put together, and Tyler right now is moving all the wood into the room that we're going to need to build this organization system. So the faster that we can get this done, the faster that we can start building. By the way, $130 for a 6-drawer dresser was such a steal. I will say, you know, with it being from IKEA, it's not the most structurally sound, but then again, I feel like everything that we added to it made it a little bit more sturdy. But I just wanted to keep this closet makeover as budget friendly as possible. So it's great if you're on a budget, because at the end of the day, it gets the job done. We went everywhere and this was the most affordable option. So I will try to have that linked for you. And by the way, if you see anything that you like or are interested in that's not linked, let me know down in the comments and I will get that linked for you. I am genuinely the worst at linking things, or just remembering to link things. But now, after getting the dresser and drawers in place, now we can get started on building. So first, by fastening 6-foot boards with screws to build the frame, and then we can go ahead and add 3 6-foot shelves to the center. Just tested the stud finder the only way I know how. We're getting ready to hang our clothing rods. I definitely recommend getting a stud finder if you're planning on hanging something that's really heavy on your walls, like all your clothes. If you secure it to a stud, it's definitely not going to go anywhere. So securing the hangers first. And like I said, we're doing 2 on each side, like top and bottom. And then once those are secure, we're just cutting a 5-foot clothing rod in half. So there'll be 2.5 feet on both the top and bottom, which doesn't seem like a lot, especially compared to what we had. But after hanging on the clothes, everything ended up fitting perfectly with extra room to spare. So this was a win, because this is definitely going to make the closet feel less cluttered than when it was just wall-to-wall clothes.
I'll imagine you and me sitting there gray and old. I need you to let me be the illusion. Oh, baby, won't you let me be the illusion?
Now we're on day 2 of this master closet renovation. We didn't get to everything that I wanted to last night, which I feel like is the case most of the times with DIY projects. It always takes you a lot longer than you think it is, but I am so excited with the progress that we've made so far. I'm really seeing everything come together and kind of like my vision coming to life, which is the most exciting part of a DIY project, when everything seems like it's kind of falling into place and going as planned. But we still have, you know, we have to finish building everything. We have a ton of painting to do. So I just kind of put on something that I didn't mind getting a bunch of paint on. And yeah, still have a lot to get done. So let's jump right into day 2. So right now Tyler's downstairs and he's making like smaller wood cuts to put little like cubbies on either side of this storage unit. We still need to add like clothing rods to this side of the closet. But while he does that, I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding the walls and get that ready for painting, because these walls, I mean, I never noticed it until we took everything out, but they look so dingy. I mean, there's just scuff marks everywhere. I thought I was just gonna have to do like a paint touch up, but I think I have to paint the entire wall. Yeah, these walls are just awful, so that's really exciting for me.
Oh, would you call me on my sins? You think that you're under my skin. I just wanna wake up in my bed alone. Oh no, I don't wanna be tucked in someone else's arms.
So before we finish building the cubbies and adding the last two clothing rods, I decided to cut out the baseboard that's behind the dresser so that the dresser and shelves will be right up against the wall. There was just this awkward 1-inch gap between the shelves and the wall just from the baseboard being there that I noticed while I was sanding, and it was just starting to drive me crazy. But also this way we can secure the structure to the wall. Not that it would go anywhere, but I guess you never know. I also feel like this makes it look a little bit more built in and like it actually belongs there. But now just hanging the last 4 clothing rod hangers on my side of the closet, and then we can go ahead and finish building this closet organization system by installing cubbies on the side just to kind of finish filling out that space. And so we're doing 8 cubbies, so 4 on each side. And while we were finishing everything up, like, yes, I was really excited, but was also just like, holy Moses, this is going to be a lot of painting. Just like all the wood, the dresser, the entire closet walls. I already knew painting was going to take up the rest of the day, but I was just so determined at this point to have the entire closet finished by tonight. So having everything installed and finish painting all the walls, the shelves, the dresser. I also wanted to install some black drawer handles because the wooden knobs that the dresser came with is just not it. We also got new light fixtures for the closet that need to be put in, along with some lights to kind of light up the shelves. A little extra, I know, but I wanted to get everything done tonight so that tomorrow we can just focus on decluttering and just figuring out how I want to organize everything back in. And speaking of a lot of painting, I am so grateful that we got this paint spray gun when we were redoing the kitchen island. It came with a bunch of paint liners to make cleanup easy, and you just fill the container up with paint, hold down the trigger, and then just get to work basically. It has a bunch of different spray settings, just kind of depending on how big the area is that you're painting. So for me, I had it cranked up to the max since I'm literally painting everything in this room, I guess besides the floors. But I'm so glad that I am, because it wasn't until I started painting the shelves that I noticed just how off color the walls were. Like, they were almost like yellow in color. You'll really see it in a minute, just, you know, the contrast between the painted walls and the non-painted walls. So yeah, this was definitely the most time consuming part, but also the most satisfying. And if you're asking, why didn't you paint the walls before adding the rod hangers? And the answer to that is, I have no idea. I guess I was just so excited that we're actually doing this that I don't always think things through, but I also tend to break big projects like this down in my head as smaller steps just to make it feel a little less overwhelming. So step 1 was just getting everything pulled out of the closet. Step 2, getting everything hung up and installed. And then step 3 is painting. Yes, the hangers are white, but I also didn't want to cover cover them in paint and risk getting paint on our clothes. And so I just taped on some paper towels and kind of just moved on with it. Again, this was a super satisfying paint job, not just because I could like visibly see the closet brightening up as I'm painting, but the amount of scuff marks on the walls that, you know, we've just been living with for years, seeing those disappear, that by the end of this, I didn't even feel like this was my house. Like when I go in my closet, I felt like I was stepping into someone else's house. I genuinely just could not believe the transformation. So if you also have a white closet that hasn't been painted in like 15, 20 years, I 10 out of 10 recommend repainting.
Can't find a time where I can tell ya what I feel now. Been biting my tongue for a while. The words just wanna come out. I'm too afraid to be rejected. It's so expected. I feel like I'm out of my mind, but I know I can't deny you. I am so alienated. Sitting on planet X. I'm becoming the person I've hated. Wonder what will happen next. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like a charge around us that just feels right. Can't get my head around it. I can never hit the brakes. Every time you touch me, babe, you send me right out into space. You send me right out into space. Right into space. I'm not the kind of person who is sentimental, but this thing is making me soft, giving into my damn heart. It feels like I am losing my grip, going crazy, 'cause this doesn't make any sense.
Also, and just as a side note, if you are painting a closed-in space with no windows, no ventilation, number one, I highly recommend wearing a mask, but number two, make sure you are taking plenty of breaks and getting fresh air. Basically, just do everything that I am not doing here because I just didn't feel it like while I was painting, but then towards the end, I was like, whoa, like I kind of feel like I'm high. Like, I don't know, can I say that? I'll probably end up in YouTube jail for that, but it's the truth. I did not feel good. I had a headache, I was dizzy, and it was somewhere around here, like after the second coat of paint on the dresser and taking the paper towels off the rod hangers. Thankfully, the walls and shelves didn't need a second coat of paint. Otherwise, I would have been in a lot of trouble. But after putting the clothing rod and rod ends on, I remembered that we still have shelves that we wanted to add on top of the hangers that will, of course, also need to be painted. So yeah, I did take a long break after this just to kind of let everything air out and to let myself air out too. But now back to more painting, just getting the last of the shelves painted with a fan blasting on me this time. Luckily, this only took me like 5 minutes to do, which I am so grateful for because I honestly don't think I could have done any more painting. So yeah, don't be like me, be responsible, wear a mask while painting, and take frequent breaks.
Can't get my head around it. I can never hit the brakes. Every time you touch me, babe, you send me right out into space. You send me right out into space.
And thank you, Jesus. We are done painting, and now we're moving on to installing the lights that we got for the closet. Again, this is super extra, but we got a ceiling light that has voice activation and can also connect to your phone. Or if you're not about that, you can also just use the remote. But it does all the colors of the rainbow in different color patterns, which I thought was so cool. We also got some battery operated puck lights that kind of do the same thing, and they just like stick on. I like that they're battery operated too because you don't have to worry about cables or wires showing. But most importantly, because we don't have an outlet in the closet. But I just stuck some on the bottom of each shelf and 2 on the sides. I'm definitely thinking about getting more so that, you know, all the shelves are lit up. And then now also swapping out this boring old light fixture that has a collection of dead bugs in it. I'm just so happy to get this swapped out with something that's just a bit more fun. I honestly want to swap out like all the light fixtures now because, like I said, it's voice activated. You can control it straight from your phone, and it comes with some really cool like color combinations. Like I know Ocean is like a mix of different blues blues, and it has a jungle program, which is like a mix of different greens. But they also have haunted with like orange and purple, Christmas with red and green. I don't know. Like I said, it's a bit extra, but just so cool. But now we are just securing the shelves to the hangers, and after that we'll also secure the clothing rod to the hanger as well, just to kind of keep it in place, keep it from moving around, and also so our clothes don't, like tip over. I wanted to add shelves on top just to, of course add some more storage space, but also to make it look a little bit more professional and not, like a DIY project. However, I do not like the length of these shelves. I feel like they're a little bit on the shorter side, so that'll get redone soon. But honestly, out of all the things that could have gone wrong during this makeover, I will gladly take a couple short shelves. And finally, the last thing that we're doing on this night before I just totally crash out is adding some black drawer handles. And again, the dresser did come with wooden handles, but I don't know, they felt kind of cheap, and I could just already see them breaking with how much we'll be opening and closing the drawers. So I figured that I would just go ahead and get some sturdier metal ones from Lowe's. Also, the light fixture and the puck lights that we got were from Lowe's as well. Everything else that we got was from Home Depot. So from Home Depot, we spent $220 for the wood, the clothing rod, and hangers, $130 for the dresser from IKEA, and then Lowe's, just for the extras like the light fixture, the puck lights, and the drawer handles was $100. So $450 all in to turn this plain boring closet into my dream closet. I feel like every DIY, every space that we redo, we always kind of tend to surprise ourselves, and just so proud of what we accomplished. And so just thank you for being here and for watching, and for cheering us on during these DIY projects, because you truly make it just that much more special, that we get to share this with you. But now we are moving right along to the next day, and I think the most annoying part of this DIY project would have to be that our room has been a hazard for the past 2-3 days. Just moving things on and off the bed, and honestly finding what we want to wear is impossible. So I am just happy that I'm matching right now, and just so ready to do a good declutter of my things, and Tyler's doing a massive declutter of his things, and just start organizing everything back in and bring this room back to normal. So to get the ball rolling, I'm just starting with all of my hanging clothes, and I went ahead and grabbed 2 separate trash bags. So the larger black bags is for all the donations, and the pink bag is for trash or just anything that looks too bad to be donated. So maybe it has a tear or a stain or just really overworn and needing to retire. But I like organizing my donations and trash in different colors, kind of like color coding, just so I don't end up donating trash or trashing donations. I'm also separating what I'm keeping into 2 separate piles. So one pile is for the things that I want to keep in the closet, and then the other pile is for coats and like my bulky winter sweaters, so that we can just go ahead and get those stored away for the season. I know we have a couple cold days coming up, but I think that we're kind of coming out of the cold season. So I did keep a couple of like my warmer jackets, but everything else is getting put away today, which I love when it's time to put away winter coats and clothes, because it just frees up so much space in the closet. And then after sorting through the clothes, next I'm just emptying out all of these bins that I cannot wait to get rid of. I was actually dreading this part more than anything today, because we did have one drawer in particular that just turned into a massive junk drawer, just full of wires and charging cables, Jaden's Pokemon cards, old gift cards, so much random stuff. So I am just trashing what we don't need and putting everything else in my laundry basket, just so I can easily go around the house and put things back where they belong.
I'm losing all my power, but who's keeping score? Don't know who I am without someone by my side, and why I don't care about what they like. Honestly, it's hard to be so easily attached. I look into a crowd and love whoever's looking back. Always got my heart on sale, my body's like an athlete, never mind.
So I decided for the dresser, I do a his and her side. So first drawer is for socks and underwear, and I am not showing my underwear to the world, but I did use drawer dividers that I got from Amazon. I will have them linked. They were too big to fit vertically, so I just went horizontal with them instead. And they're great to just keeping things organized. Next drawer is for like leggings and sports bras, and then the last drawer will be for PJs.
Always got my heart
Now that we have everything organized into my side of the dresser, I decided to use these bins that I've had for like 100 years to organize all of like my hair accessories. So like my clips and bows and headbands. I just love this so much more than those clear drawers that I had. I mean, they were all just kind of crammed in there. But now I can see them all and they're a lot easier to grab. It's just so much better. I also organized all of Tyler's ties into another bin. And then the fourth bin I just ended up using for belts. I really love these bins, but I kind of feel like maybe black bins would look better for this space. I don't know. Somebody tell me I'm wrong, but I didn't go out and get anything new for organizing besides little drawer dividers that I used. Again, I wasn't sure how everything was going to turn out, and I just didn't want to go and buy organizers and end up not needing them, or like I get them and they end up not working out for the space. So as far as how everything is actually organized, it'll probably change a little bit as we continue to live with it. But after organizing the bins, the hats, and purses, next Tyler is going to be doing a big declutter of his clothes. And again, he's just separating them into different piles. So whatever is getting donated goes into the black bag. Then he has his keep pile, and then off-season clothes in another. It was so crazy and just so satisfying just to see how much that he was able to get rid of. He actually got this done really, really fast. I'd say under 20 minutes, and he had like all of his shoes and jeans and pajamas and shirts just completely decluttered. I think he kind of knew that he had a lot of stuff that, he just wasn't wearing anymore. So that's great for him. But what works for me, since I feel like I take a little bit longer, is to just do a quick clothes declutter twice a year. So during like season changes. So I'll do one in the spring and another in the fall. How about you? I don't know. That just really helps me, keep control of my closet, makes decluttering feel a little less overwhelming, and just makes it so that I'm only holding on to what I'm actually wearing. So while he's decluttering, I'm just swapping all of my plastic hangers for the felt hangers, just because I feel like felt hangers take up way less space. But finally, we are done decluttering, and here's just a quick look at everything from the closet that we're donating. But before we organize everything back into the closet, I just first wanted to get all of our seasonal clothes put into bins, starting with my clothes first. I've always stored mine away and Jaden's off-season clothes away, but I've never stored Tyler's away, I guess just due to lack of space. But we recently redid the spare bedroom closet, and we have lots of extra storage space now so that I can store all of our off-season clothes in one closet, which just makes season changes and closet organization so much easier.
I'm not gonna play nice. I'll be the witch you tell your friends about. I'm the crazy ex-girl you pretend you don't know, 'cause you know I could ruin your life. Rumor has it you have someone new. She'll regret you like a bad tattoo, 'cause you'll never change, you'll always stay the same. Go on and tell all your friends all about me. I don't give a nothing sticks to me, baby. Yes, hon, I'm Teflon, I don't give an F, so go ahead and tell them I'm a little bit too much for ya. Maybe you're not man enough, 'cause I speak my mind, yeah, I spit it out. I don't care about if you think that I'm a little bit too much for ya. Maybe you're not man enough, 'cause I speak my mind, yeah, I spit it out. I don't care about
And now we have my side of the closet nice and organized. And I just went ahead and color coordinated everything just because, I don't know, that's what makes me happy. And then I just put bulkier stuff on the bottom. So like sweaters and jackets that I wanted to keep in there. And then my lighter clothes and dresses are up top. I put our everyday shoes on the longer shelves in the back. And then for the shorter shelves, I decided to put like our winter boots up top since we won't need those for a while since it's spring, at least I hope. And then house shoes are on the bottom. And finally, I'm just swapping Tyler's plastic hangers for all felt hangers. Guys, I have been trying to get rid of plastic hangers for like 3 years now, but somehow they just keep popping up in our closet. And then finally just organizing Tyler's things back in. And I did the same with like his bulkier clothes on the bottom and then his lighter clothes on top. It has been the longest 3 days, but time well spent because just what a difference. At the time of voiceover, I've only lived with it for like 1 day, but I just know it's going to make the biggest difference in easily putting away laundry and getting ready for the day, and also just making that more enjoyable as well. You know, this is a space that we see every single day, and just, you know, all the walls are nice and fresh and everything has a home. But that is all from me in today's video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let us know down in the comments your thoughts on this DIY closet because I always love hearing from you. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, loves.
Yeah, we are one step closer. Can you feel it, baby? It's the end of the line. It looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, moving on. Oh, it looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, staying strong. Oh, it looks like we. It looks like we. Yeah, it looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going. Won't you sing out your frustration? Just say a word. Keep on staring at the pavement. God knows who hurt. Ooh, your mind is a ghost town, echoing inside your walls. 5 feet underground now. Nothing's gonna save us from our doubts. Nothing's gonna make us spell it out. I don't wanna be the one who said, oh, I told you so. And even if the sky was falling down, only you move to the rhythm.
Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kelly and I upload every single Wednesday and Friday. Today's video, we are finally ripping out our old island and completely DIYing a new one with lots of different cabinets, drawers, and storage space. It's been a long time coming as I've been talking about doing this for like 100 years, but today we finally went to Home Depot and picked out the cabinets that we want and any extra supplies or tools that we'll need for this project. And so right now I'm just showing you everything that we ended up getting along with the prices of everything, just in case you're considering doing something like this in your home. I'll also be doing more of like a step-by-step approach because I don't know, that's just what makes more sense to me, but I love doing DIYs, especially when they're big projects like this. Number one, because it's way more affordable when you just do it yourself, but also because you can really customize it how you want. Like aesthetically, you can make it look how you want to match like your personal style, but also you can make it more functional for your needs or for your family's specific needs. So I guess you could say step one is figuring out what those needs are. So for us, I know I wanted more available storage space for our kitchen. Make a plan and then get all the supplies that you need for the project. And so now I'm just giving you an overview of what everything looks like before we go crazy and rip everything out. This is such an important part of the kitchen because this is where I like to cook and prep food, where we eat dinner every single night. So the goal is to make it look nice and more functional for everything that we need it for. Currently, we have a standard sized island, nothing special, with a DIY table extension that we added when we decided to forego our kitchen table in favor of a longer island. And so now we have a new purpose for this island. It's definitely time for an upgrade. And so now showing you the new island, or I guess the cabinets and drawers that we'll be putting together to create the island. I made sure to get cabinets that have lots of cabinet space and drawers that I can organize things in, and really just saying a prayer that everything turns out okay. We did decide to get the unfinished or like the unpainted cabinets that they have that will be painting all white. Full disclosure though, they do sell white cabinets like this that you can kind of put together and customize. But even with all of the paint and the supplies, it is more work, but so much more affordable to do it this way. But then the next step is just figuring out what makes the most sense for me to start on first. And since we have a lot of painting to do, I figured that would be the best place to start. So just removing all of the cabinet doors, the drawers, and also taking off the face plates on all of the drawers so that we can get everything painted first.
Can't find a time where I can tell ya what I feel now. Been biting my tongue for a while. The words just wanna come out. I'm too afraid to be rejected. It's so expected. I feel like I'm out of my mind, but I know I can't deny you.
And so now that we have the cabinets taken apart to the best of my ability, we can finally start painting. One thing that's new that we got is this paint sprayer from Home Depot so that I can get these painted in record time without using a roller. This is 10 out of 10 not necessary, as well, it was kind of an investment, but well worth it, because if you've been following along with my channel, you'll know how much painting I do. We've really just been in that era of finally just doing all of the things that we've been wanting to do with the house, not being afraid, just kind of doing it anyways. And that always seems to involve some sort of painting. And while I love painting, it's very therapeutic for me and I can kind of just check out while I'm doing it. I did not want to be outside in the driveway for 8 days just painting cabinets. Instead, this paint sprayer, it took me, I want to say it was under an hour to get it all painted. It was so easy to hook up and use. I will say that it looks like it's taking me a long time, and that's because it is. Only due to user error though. Tyler ended up showing me after this that there's like a nozzle on the paint sprayer to adjust like how much paint will come out, just kind of depending on how big of a surface area that you're painting. So yeah, I don't know. That would have been nice to know before, but still this was way easier and faster than painting it manually. You do have to kind of keep the spray gun level, so you can't like spray it directly down or directly up, which is why you see me kind of spraying the top part, letting it dry before turning it and spraying the other half. This paint sprayer is so legit, you guys. I 10 out of 10 recommend if you have a project that involves a lot of paint. Like if you're painting an entire room, or if you just find yourself painting a lot like me, it's well worth the price. I know I could have 100% used this when we redid our pantry and put in that little kitchen nook area, because I swear all the time that my back and knees still hurt from all of that painting, but so glad to have this now for all of our future projects coming up this year.
But there is nothing I can do. No. When I'm with you, I lose myself. I feel good. Oh, yeah, I don't know why. It's like a charge around us that just feels right. Can't get my head around it. I can never hit the brakes. Every time you touch me, babe, you send me right out into space.
And now just finishing painting the cabinet doors and the faceplates on the drawers, which was already a lot of painting. And I am so grateful to have this paint sprayer, because after this, we will be moving on to even more painting and getting the outside and inside of the base cabinets painted. Another thing that I wanted to mention about this spray gun is that it did a really good job on making even coats, like evenly distributing the paint. And I ended up using way less paint than I feel like I would have if I would have used a roller and just did it myself. And also, I did not have to do a bunch of circus acts to get into all of the cracks and corners. I feel like I'm really showing my age just being so excited over a paint sprayer. Not a sponsor, by the way. I just really do love it. And I swear, like every time that I get something new that I find useful and love, my first thought is always like, I cannot wait to show you. I even ask Tyler all the time, like, do you think this is really cool and that they'll love this, or am I just overreacting? But anyway, if you are thinking to yourself, why are you doing all this outside in January in the middle of winter? And that's because I want to do things differently this year. I feel like I tend to save these projects for spring and summer when we're already busy and want to be outside, not stuck in the house doing projects. January, February, March, those months are always the hardest for me, no matter what I do. I try to eat right, I take my supplements, try not to skip a workout, I do light therapy, but I always get the winter blues, I guess you could say. I do love December because I do have Christmas to look forward to, but then once that's passed, we're just kind of stuck in cold, dark January, February, March. So I decided this year to give myself things to look forward to, and that will keep me busy, which so far has helped me so much and is why we are doing the kitchen makeover now. Because one thing that I love doing is DIY projects, using my creativity and changing things in the home so that I love the way that it looks and it fits our family's current needs. And now we are back. You didn't miss much, just still painting over here. But after we finished painting, while we wait on everything to dry, we're gonna go ahead and take the measurements that we need for the shiplap, or like the decorative wood that we got for the outside of the cabinets, just to cover up any of like the particle board that's showing. This will also help anchor the two separate cabinets together and just make everything look more professional and less like a DIY project. I really love the effect that this added because it made the island look less, boring, and just make the part where everyone sees and sits look more polished and decorative, instead of just having like more cabinet doors there that I can't even get to because there's chairs there or like people are sitting there. I don't know, am I even making sense right now? But it just feels like it's more functional to have all of the cabinets and the drawers on the other side of the island, like more inside the kitchen and in that cooking zone where there's no chairs, nobody's sitting there, and I can easily get to what I need. So anyway, just one by one, making the cuts that we need so that the decorative wood will kind of just fit the length of the cabinet. And then we also have two like smaller cuts that we need to make for two different sides of the cabinet that also has particle board showing. And then we'll go ahead and use the power tool to screw the boards into place. And Tyler's kind of just trying to show you what it's going to look like when it's all done. But you could totally, by the way, just use wood glue. That would probably be so much easier, because then you won't have like a bunch of screw holes left behind that you then have to spackle over and then sand and repaint. It's definitely a lot more time consuming using screws. But I just know with our house, having, kids over all the time and 3 dogs, wood glue is just not going to do it for us, even though, it's more work using screws and a power gun. I just really want to make sure that it's done right. And now we are back inside, thankfully, because it is freezing in Ohio this time of year. And moving on to, what is this now? Step 3, I think we're on. We have everything painted and all the cuts have been made one by one, pulling everything out of the island cabinet so that we can rip out the old one and put in the new island. And you will see that I have a lot of stuff crammed in this tiny island, to where I've kind of had to just stack things on top of each other. I have done so much minimizing over the years, all of the videos, all of the decluttering that I've done, and I feel like, especially with this space, I've decluttered as much as I possibly can, with keeping in mind that I do a lot of hosting. So all of like the bowls and the serving trays and all of the storage containers that I keep for meal prepping, I feel like I've minimized as much as I possibly can. And I don't want to declutter just for the sake of decluttering if those are items that I actually need, which is why I'm just so excited for this new island, because it's going to open up so much storage space in my kitchen so that I can store things without it looking so cluttered. We will be reorganizing the things we already have in the cabinets. I got some cool things from Amazon to help with like the kitchen organization that I'm so excited to show you later in the video. And I was going to do like a full kitchen declutter and reorganize in this, but full disclosure, this took us 3 days to do. So I think I'm just going to save that for another video. I don't know, probably like later on this month. I also wanted to share, in case you missed it, the video schedule is up for this month. I asked you what you wanted to see next since, I have a couple dates that are open this month, and I got a lot of decluttering and reorganizing requests. So we'll definitely tackle this, the kitchen soon. I also know that I need to do the garage and, finishing the great wall of bins that I have out there. So lots of decluttering videos coming up soon, so stay tuned. But now back to tearing out this island. We just tore out the countertops, and I say we lightly because it was all Tyler. And now he's taking out the, what's it called? The plug-in thing? I don't know. Words are really hard right now, but taking that out and just moving the power cables to the side until a little later because we're going to be setting up a charging station in the island and then removing the old island. And due to editing, I made this look very easy. And that's because it should have been a lot easier than it was. I think most islands are fastened with like a strong adhesive or something along those lines. However, our island was bolted to the concrete with a massive nail gun. And here's Jax for moral support. It was a lot harder than it needed to be, but anyway, after removing the old island and getting a refresher on what floors we had in here like 15 years ago, we can finally bring our new freshly painted island cabinets and get them set up where we like them. And right now, Tyler's just kind of getting an idea on how he wants to build the countertops. And so while he tackles building the countertops, my goal is to cover up this particle board with the decorative wood cuts that we made earlier. And there was a lot of particle board showing, and I've never done anything like this before. I honestly don't even think I've ever held a power tool. And so in my heart of hearts, at this point, I was thinking, great, like we've done all this work and I'm about to go in and mess it all up. But it ended up being so easy. I don't know, at least as easy as it looks. You just kind of lock the boards into the one below it, screw it to the back of the cabinet, and you're done. So nothing special, but full disclosure, I was so proud of myself for doing this, and I feel like it just gave such a sweet and polished look to the island.
You got my attention, baby. Now I see you there in my reflection. You're a part of me, and it's in peace. Hide and seek till I found you. Oh, I found you. Oh, I found you. Yeah. Hide and seek till I found you. Oh, I found you. Oh, I found you.
And now we are moving into day 2. Tyler was just finished building our gorgeous new countertop, so just getting that put on now. So the goal for day 2 is to sand and stain the new countertop, cover up any of the screw holes, and repaint the decorative wood on the outside, as well as repainting the inside because one of the puppies had just walked into the cabinet and tore up some of the paint. I will give you 3 guesses who it was, but getting the inside of the cabinet painted now before moving on to covering up any screw holes. And the camera really didn't pick it up, but there was a ton of scuff marks on the decorative wood pieces that I had noticed while I was screwing them on last night. I don't know, I guess just from them being shuffled around at Home Depot. So that's why I'm also repainting the outside. And then once everything is actually white, then we can go ahead and give everything a coat of polyacrylic just to kind of give it that shine and also to help protect the island from scuff marks, kids, and curious puppies as well. And I decided to not use the paint sprayer for this part just because, I don't know, I did not trust myself to not get paint everywhere. So instead using a roll brush while I'm inside. But then day 3 will be more of like the detailed stuff, which I personally feel like is more of the fun part. So like organizing all of the drawers and inside the cabinet and setting up the charging station. I will say that I never would have thought that it would be 3 days and we'd still be working on it. But I'm also the queen of this is going to take us like one day. And, here we are. But you just honestly, you can't predict what's going to come up when you do projects like this. For example, like I didn't know that, I'd have to repaint the inside, cover screw holes with spackle, and repaint the entire outside where the decorative wood is. But also don't be afraid. Like if you have home projects that you've been thinking about doing, just do it. You only live once, even if you have no idea what you're doing, because, we don't know what we're doing either. We just kind of get an idea of, what might look nice or what might be nice for our home. And we just kind of go for it and pray for the best. We've changed so much in this kitchen over the last year that, we were able to just do all by ourselves. We laid down new floors, we changed the pantry and put in built-in cabinets. We got a new sink and now the island. And I've truly never loved my kitchen more. It's just never been more functional than what it is today. And I'm just so glad that I went with my ideas, even though I was afraid and I still have no idea what I'm doing. I am so proud of everything that we've done so far. And I've never loved my home more. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling now, but I guess what I'm trying to say is homes are surprisingly forgiving with, a little bit of spackle or a little bit of paint or a second trip to the hardware store. So if you have a home project that you've been wanting to do, I say go for it, because if I can do it, I know you can do it too. And I completely just talked through it, but we just sanded the wood countertop until it was more of a smooth surface. And now Tyler's staining the countertop, which I completely forgot to show you the stain color that we're using, but it's called Heather Gray, and I will have it linked down in the description box for you. It's the same color that we used for the countertops in the Pantry makeover, and I know I showed it in that video, but I love this color stain. But I do have to say, I was really back and forth on this one, like whether or not I wanted to stain it, because I just really love the look of natural wood. It kind of made me want to change all of the countertops to natural wood, but I don't know. We decided to stain it anyways just so that it would match all of the other ones. But let me know down in the comments, do you prefer the natural wood look or do you prefer the stained wood? But anyways, now the spackle is dry. Moving on to sanding those spots down before painting the outside.
Maybe for once, just give it a try. Listen to me when I say goodbye to you. Maybe for once, just give it a try. Listen to me when I say goodbye to you. Forget your rules, forget your shoes. I've done everything you've asked me to do. Forget your rules, forget your shoes. I've done everything you asked, but I wasted time. Forget your truth, you're just cool. I swear anything's better than you. Catch you on the flip side, catch you on the flip side. So goodbye.
And so after getting all of the decorative boards painted, which thankfully only need one coat since we're just covering up scuff marks and spackle, I'm just painting the small section where there's still particle board showing, as well as the corner pieces of the decorative wood. Basically anything that's not already white is getting painted. Also, the part where particle board is showing, we absolutely could have cut a piece of decorative wood to fit that section, but number one, you really can't see that part anyways because the countertop is there. But also number two, and most importantly, we did not have time for all of that. So I just painted it all instead. And you honestly can't even tell. But now moving on to the last thing that I wanted to do for the night before moving on to day 3, which, sorry for the lighting quality. The sun's only out for like 2 minutes this time of year in Ohio. But anyway, the last thing I'm doing is giving everything a coat of polyacrylic. So like the inside of the cabinet, the outside, and the cabinet doors, and the faceplates from like the drawers. Again, just to give it that classic kitchen shine, but also to seal in the paint and protect it from chipping, like especially in those high touch areas. One mistake that I made in the Pantry makeover, I think it was, I used polyurethane for the protective coat for the white cabinets. And then someone said in the comments to use polyacrylic instead of polyurethane on anything that's white, just because polyurethane kind of makes it look off-white. So this is actually my first time using polyacrylic, and it really did a good job at making everything look bright and shiny. So very thankful to have you guys and all of your suggestions, because again, I am not perfect. We are all learning here. You'll also see in a minute, we also tried using the polyacrylic for the countertop as well, and I don't know if it was just kind of like a difference in the wood or like the textures, but it didn't really make the countertop as shiny as I would have liked. So we did end up going back with the polyurethane just to give it that extra layer of shine.
Stay or we could leave. There is nothing in between. So baby, we should start living now. 'Cause we only have this life. Wanna laugh and wanna cry. I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, we should start living now.
And then finally, just adding a coat of polyacrylic to the doors, and then we'll let everything dry overnight so that day 3, all we have to do is add the drawers, hang the doors, add the charging station, and organize everything back in. At this point, I was so excited to kind of just see all of our hard work come together, see my vision come to life, and to have a kitchen that I truly love, without having to pay somebody like $20,000 to do it all for us. We did it ourselves, and that's truly the best feeling. And now finally moving on to day 3. And now that everything is dry, starting with just taking the tape off all of the door hinges so that we can hang up all of the cabinet doors. And then we'll put the faceplates back on the drawers and get those in place as well. I was so excited to just jump to organizing everything, mainly because this new island has opened up so much storage space for me. So it's given me 3 extra larger size drawers and more than doubled the inside of my cabinet space for all of my cookware. We're also going to be installing little handles on the drawers and the doors to make opening them easier. And we just got the same kind of handles that we have on the other cabinets, so it's really nothing special. But one thing I wish is that these were those soft close cabinets and drawers, because we have a teenager and it scares the crap out of me when they get slammed. But these are not it. They're just kind of basic cabinets. And, they really didn't have that option at Home Depot, but Tyler did say that, that's something that can be easily installed. So that's probably the next thing that we're going to do in here is make everything, all of the drawers and cabinets, those soft close. Just not today. You kind of have to learn to say that when you're tackling big projects like this. You have to kind of just split it up. You're not always going to have the time or be able to get everything done that you want to, but I'm really happy with the progress that's been made, and it's also really nice to have more projects to look forward to in the future. And next, moving on to installing the charging station, which I've already mentioned 500 times, but I thought this was so cool. It was an Amazon find, so I will have it linked in the description box in case you're interested. But it's basically just a pop-up outlet that you can install in your countertops. I was so excited for this, mainly because our kitchen is basically just a big charging station for all of our laptops and our tablets and phones, and you can honestly never have too many outlets. But this also gave me a space on the island where I can plug in my crock pot, my griddle, or my waffle maker. And we also decided to put it in the center of the counters so that I can just cover it up with my centerpieces if I want to. But yeah, I just thought this was a really cool find. And then before we go ahead and organize everything back in, Tyler's hanging a shelf inside, which is really just part of our old countertop being repurposed as a shelf so that I can put like my smaller bowls and things at the top and then my heavier items on the bottom. But now that we have everything in place, we can finally start organizing the new island, which I am so excited because I've had everything cluttered in a corner for like 3 days now, starting with all of the crap that was in our junk drawer. I decided to keep the junk drawer because I do find them really useful. If you need to find like a pin or like a sticky note, it's just right there. But I decided to make the smallest drawer in the island the junk drawer, mainly so that I can be more intentional about what we keep in there, but also to prevent it from getting cluttered. Because if there's open space in the junk drawer, it's just gonna get filled with random stuff. So just going through each item one by one. I also made 2 separate piles. So one is like what I want to keep in the junk drawer, which basically I decided to keep just like pens and highlighters and sticky notes and thumbtacks, scissors and a stapler. And the other pile is just everything that really doesn't belong in the kitchen. I'm also going to be making sure that all of like the pens and the highlighters work because I feel like we always have a few that's broken or out of ink. And then we'll organize everything back in.
There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be. I see you hesitating while you're waiting, like somebody's gonna give it to you. You gotta chase it, gotta believe it. You gotta go get it for yourself. 'Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears aren't proof of failure. You just gotta let them flow.
And now the inside of the cabinet is nice and organized and Jack's blocks part of your view. Moving on to organizing these side drawers. I didn't get an organizer for this drawer just because I wanted to wait until after we put the island in so that I can see everything and then kind of figure out what we need and go from there. I do have my Tupperware organizer that I absolutely love, so putting those in the middle drawer. And then for the top drawer, I did go ahead and order something from Amazon. It's to kind of help organize like all of my kitchen knives and like my meal prepping utensils. And I absolutely love it. It's the same type of like bamboo wood, which I feel like all of my organizers are now that. I'll have it linked in the description box for you. But while I wait on that to come in, we're going to go ahead and add the handles to all of the cabinets and drawers.
To be happy, you can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right.
And so just for a quick comparison, this is what my old organizer looks like in the new drawer, which it is comically too small. These drawers are just much wider than my old ones. But luckily, Amazon saves the day and delivered the new organizer, which I love because it expands to fit the width of my drawer and offers a lot of organization space too.
I'm not gonna play nice. I'll be the witch you tell your friends about. I'm the crazy ex-girl you pretend you don't know, 'cause you know I could ruin your life. Rumor has it you have someone new. She'll regret you like a bad tattoo. 'Cause you'll never change, you'll always stay the same. Go on and tell all your friends all about me. I don't give a nothing sticks to me, baby. Yes, hon, I'm Teflon, I don't give an F, so go ahead and tell them I'm a little bit too much for ya. Maybe you're not man enough. 'Cause I speak my mind, yeah, I spit it out. I don't care about
And so now that the island is finished, it's organized, and honestly, I could not love it anymore. I just gave the countertops and chairs a quick wipe down just because there was like sawdust and debris everywhere. And then lastly, just giving the floors a good vac mop too, because those were absolutely disgusting from the last 3 days. But that is all from me in today's video. I truly hope that this gave you the motivation and the encouragement to tackle your own DIY project or your own home improvement or to organize a space. If not, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me anyways. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on Friday, which will be the ultimate undecorate and clean with me so that we can have a fresh start to 2026. So be sure to have your notifications turned on for that, and I will see you all soon. Bye, loves. Oh my gosh.
I'm being honest, y'all. I'm being honest. We just do what we do. Ain't no joke about love. He's the one that I die for. Can't so long, side by side. Can't believe that he is mine. We just do what we do. My love, my love. Only you move me to the rhythm.
Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kelly and I upload twice a week. And this year I have been on a new venture of just doing the things that I really want to do that brings me joy. So I've been doing lots of decluttering and organizing around my home, but also part of that is using my creativity even more. And I'm really excited for my boy's bathroom to be the next space we are making over because his bathroom is nothing special. It's honestly very plain. I haven't really done anything with it since we moved in about 12 years ago, and just so excited to rip everything out and make my vision come to life using affordable products from Amazon. You also saw I got a couple things from Lowe's and from Hobby Lobby, and just figuring it out as I go. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more kind of figuring it out DIY makeovers because it turned out so cute. So the first thing that I'm doing is taking out all of the new bathroom accessories, decorations, and organizers that I got and just getting those organized together. And I just thought what he would love most would be to have a basketball themed bathroom, which currently it's Fortnite themed. And funnily enough, he just said a couple weeks ago that he doesn't play Fortnite anymore. So you could say this makeover came at a really great time. But also there were several things that were really needing to be replaced that were the originals from when we bought the home, starting with the sink faucet, which yes, it's gross because it needs to be cleaned, but also there was hard water stains and massive lime scale buildup. The next is the light fixture, which is just old and gross and honestly kind of plain. There's no proper towel hook, so towels just end up falling on the ground as you saw, but also the floors are another part of this bathroom that were the original and so have lost their adhesive and is just starting to peel up on the edges and the corners. So I wanted to get those changed out too. And so my plan with the new bathroom is to lay down some new floors, add a fresh coat of paint to like the walls and the cabinets, and add some new decorations and also organizers too. I thought the best place to start would be painting. So just taking out like all of the wall decor, taking off the shower curtain, and then ripping out all of the old flooring before we begin painting everything. We'll also give everything a deep clean too, because it was really starting to look like a typical boy bathroom, but everything was just dirty and gross. And for some reason, there was a whole roll of toilet paper just sitting in the trash. But yeah, just showing you some of the messes, which I figured that we'd tackle after the makeover is done, because honestly, I end up destroying spaces when I do makeovers. So I typically leave the cleaning for last when I do like DIY projects or makeovers. But the last thing I wanted to do is tear out the old flooring, which was actually an afterthought, but so glad I decided to tear out the old flooring, guys, because we had a ton of toxic black mold growing right next to the bathtub from, I'm guessing, just years of water exposure. Yes, this is actually really, really gross and very scary for me, as black mold can cause a host of different health issues and illnesses. And for it to be hiding in my kid's bathroom too, just honestly makes it that much more scary as a mom. And I'm sure I will get some nasty comments about this mold incident, as I'm sure it may potentially help somebody else, which is why I keep it real over here. Mold can happen in any home, and I would much rather, help somebody and potentially be judged over it rather than just pretending like it didn't happen and just film over it. This obviously put a massive delay in the project because I spent another day just treating the wood, but after some serious Google research, I went and bought some rubber gloves, a mask, a Brillo sponge, and you can use any bleach, but I just used Clorox's mold and mildew. I sprayed that all over the gross black spots and used my Brillo pad to scrub. I did this several times throughout the day. I believe it said online to treat it 3 times within 5 minutes apart from each other, like from each session. But I did this a total of like 7 or 8 times just to be safe. And then after everything was dry, I followed up with some mold blocking primer that I found at Lowe's to seal everything in. And like I said before, this makeover took me quite a few days just because I didn't have the time to fully dedicate to this with having a kid, summer basketball. Also, we have a new puppy, Jax, as you saw earlier in the video. So 3 dogs all together. But I had to do most of this during puppy naps because I just didn't want him around like all the mold and all the paint and chemicals. So I just started right after I got home from the gym in the morning and then just sporadically worked on it throughout the day. So you will see quite a few outfit changes throughout this, just because that's how long it took me. But even with all of the DIY bumps in the road, I have been loving this year so far with all of the things that we've changed up in the home and just making it more clean and cozy and organized. But yeah, just doing that a lot this year, just changing up rooms, doing makeovers, even just reorganizing a small space and just decorating with things that I actually love has brought me so much joy and inspired me to just focus on me and what I love instead of just like what the trends and what social media tells me to love. Just decorating with the things that I actually love has just helped my mental health so much. And I feel like that's just really been a theme this year, is just doing what I love and really focusing on me and my mental health. And the bathroom needed some time to air out the chemical smells. So we are picking up the day after treating the mold on the floors and we can finally start painting. The color that I chose for the walls is Dolphin Fin by Behr, which is a gorgeous, calming gray color with kind of like a slight tint of blue. I think this would be a great color to freshen up any space, but also my son really loves the white, black, and gray color scheme, which honestly is great because it'll make changing out and matching decor easier with his ever-changing interests. Though I think basketball honestly will probably be the theme for a while. I can't remember what the original wall color was in here, but it was like a light blue, so thankfully it was a really easy cover up. I ended up only having to do 1 coat and then just like some touch-ups in a few spots where it's needed. And I'm also about to remove the mirror on the wall, which I actually had to Google how to do, and it had the original wall paint behind it because I just never knew how to take the mirror off the wall. And that took 3 coats of paint since it was a little bit darker, but I wanted to take my time with this makeover and just do it right this time around, which means honestly a lot of Google and research. I will also add that I did not tape off this light fixture just because we did get a new light fixture for this bathroom. So I just didn't mind if there was paint on it. And I didn't take it off also too because I still needed lighting in the bathroom. So I just kept it on and just whatever paint was on it, was fine. I do wish that I would have taken off the light a little bit sooner just because with the new light fixture that we got, it has more bars. And this one has just more of like a rectangle plate. So when we took the light plate off off of the wall, it left a white rectangle on the wall. You'll see a little bit later in the video. So I had to bring the wall paint back out and paint over a few times before putting the new light fixture on. So that might be something that you might want to think about if you get a new light fixture that's a different shape from your old light fixture. And so when painting this bathroom, the easiest tools I found to paint with for like the larger areas are like the big rollers. For like the smaller spaces, like in between the cabinets, and actually on the cabinets themselves, I used this small foam roller. And then for like corners and edges, I used a small foam brush. And I'm not gonna lie, painting this part was really difficult with the toilet being there. I was like laying over the toilet trying to get certain spots. I feel like most professional people who actually know what they're doing would have just taken their toilet out before painting the wall and doing the floors and painting the cabinets too. But knowing me, water would have just like started sprouting everywhere, and I wasn't having that. So I just did acrobats and painted that way. Next, we are moving on to the cabinets, which were super worn and chipped from when I painted them years ago. And so using Moon Shadow by Behr for the first coat, and I'm actually not going to spend too much time on this part just because I hated it. The color actually itself is really, really pretty, but it just wasn't what I originally envisioned, which was black cabinets instead. I just thought it would give a bit more of a mature look, and I guess kind of a cool look too, since he's turning 13 this year, to have black cabinets with white and black marble floors. But before making my 57th trip to Lowe's for the black paint, I just wanted to swap out this light fixture and then give like a layer of paint to what the previous light fixture left behind. This was the most budget-friendly light fixture at Lowe's that I really loved at $39. It's very simple and very chic, and I just feel like it adds a little extra something to the bathroom. And after getting back from Lowe's again, just taking off the cabinet doors, which I guess is the proper way of doing it, by the way, so that I can paint them all black without getting it on the hinges. I was really hopeful that I could get it all painted in just one layer of paint, but it definitely needed 2 coats of paint to cover this blue. But I feel like lately my calling is to be more creative, because I'm not happy when I'm not being creative. It's kind of like my outlet. It's just what I love to do. Like, I feel like I'm almost holding something inside of me that I can't release until I get to be creative. Whether it's an acrylic painting or makeovers or redecorating or baking or doing DIYs around the house. Like, I just need to do that to feel happiness. And that's just because some people have that creativity that they need to release. And I'm always looking at my house as like a blank canvas. And I have these like really whimsical ideas that I really want to try, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I cannot do this, you know? And I'm finally just like, you know what? I need to do this, whether it comes out awful or not. I mean, we did redo our bedroom and we redid our pantry, which really looked really, really cute. I just need to do more of that, even if it's just like more DIYs in general, like not necessarily like whole room makeovers. That just brings me so much joy. And that's what pushed me to finally do this. Like, because every time that I come into this bathroom, there's like chipped paint and gross floors and just really boring. And I want to make it fun for him. But anyway, long story short, there will definitely be more makeovers and DIYs coming soon. And so now we are finishing up the cabinets with the second and final coat of paint for the bathroom, which I think the cabinets already look so cool. And I am so happy that I went back and I painted them black. One thing that I am not happy about is that I did not think to cover like the sink and the shower and the toilet before I started painting. And while I love it, I am kind of a child when I paint, and it just gets all over the place, including myself, if you can see. But when it comes to paint, the sooner that you get it off, the better. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that before moving on to like laying the floors down. And you could use paint thinner to get it up really, really easily. But if you don't have paint thinner, I've also found that a magic eraser and some really hot water works really well too.
You wanna leave behind, get all those cold eyes cold looking, but saying bye bye bye. I don't wanna talk before the moment slowly slips away. Get a little dirty, baby, nothing you ain't gonna take, yeah.
Next, we are laying down the floors. This was honestly the biggest question mark of this DIY project because I've heard mixed things about peel and stick flooring. But first, you're going to want to clean your floors so that they properly stick. So I just vacuumed and also vac mopped just to get up any dust and debris. And then it was super easy. I just peeled off the backing, stuck it right to the ground, and with Jax's help, pressing it into place. I didn't end up doing all of this myself because there were just like some measurements and cuts, like especially around the toilet area, that I just did not trust myself with. But all in all, it was super easy. I love the way that it looks and very budget friendly. It was $30 to do the entire bathroom. And if it does come up in like 2 or 3 years, I won't be mad at all because it's a super affordable peel and stick flooring.
Under my tattoos, there's a remedy, and the way you go, baby, don't you know, there's a remedy, yeah, there's a remedy, oh no, darling, Palooza, ain't gonna lose ya, I'm gonna do that, darling, Palooza, ain't gonna lose ya, there's a remedy.
The last thing that needs to be swapped out before cleaning and redecorating in here is the sink faucet. So just taking out all of like the cabinet organizers and anything that's under the sink so that we can disconnect and remove the old faucet, which when we took off the old faucet, there was a ton of like gross lime scale that built up around the old faucet, which to be honest, I was not sure if I was going to be able to get it off, but I just used my scraper and my CLR cleaner and it took the lime scale right off. There was some like yellow residue that was left behind. Honestly, I think it's just stained because I tried bleach and a magic eraser and nothing. But honestly, I'm not mad because the new faucet covers it up anyways.
I'm being honest, y'all. I'm being honest. We just do what we do. Ain't no joke about love. He's the one that I die for. Cancel along side by side. Can't believe that.
And now just deep cleaning the shower and everything in here before I decorate so that everything looks fresh and clean. And I decided to use Barkeeper's Friend to clean my shower like inside the tub since there was still like paint splatter in there, along with my electric spin brush, which I swear by this thing. It makes scrubbing out the shower so easy and efficient. I will definitely have it linked in the description box for you. But since I couldn't figure out how to get a powdered cleaner on the the walls, I just then use my Lysol cleaner for like the walls of the shower and the side of the tub. And for the shower wall, I got off of Amazon. It's like a suction cup shelf that you can just like punch into place on the wall. And I thought it would be better than like the built-in shower holder, just because things constantly are falling off of it since it has no walls, but also it has like a space to hang your washcloth or your body scrubber. So I love that too.
Every time I fall, you got me safe and sound, safe and sound. We just do what we do, ain't no joke about love. He's the one that I die for. Dance along side by side, can't believe that he is mine. We just do what we do. My love, my heart is beating even faster, faster. He got me feeling like I'm ready for anything, let me go. Oh, my love, my love, my love. He got my love, he got my love, he got my love. He got my love, he got my love, he got my love. He's making me blow my mind and I can't stand the thought of being without us. I'm being honest, y'all.
And now I'm just taking out the trash that was overflowing from this makeover. One bummer, and honestly lack of foresight on my part, is I got a really cute basketball hoop trash can for this bathroom, but it was too wide to fit on either side of the toilet. So I just had to make do with the old one for now. But now moving on to giving the mirror, sink, and bathroom cabinets a good wipe down. But I feel like this was the part where the walls are painted, the cabinets are painted, and the floors are laid down. And I finally felt like, okay, I did it. Like, all the hard stuff is out of the way. My vision is coming together, and just envisioning like where I'm gonna put all of the new decor and how I'm gonna reorganize everything. And honestly, just feeling so proud of myself that I was able to do most of this myself, and was just so excited to show him his new bathroom. But I found this 2-tier stand for the bathroom sink, which is on Amazon, that I'll have linked in the description box. And then also from Amazon are these plastic jars, which I am obsessed with, by the way, because they came with labels, and just a really great way to organize Q-tips, floss picks, cotton balls, or anything else you may need.
Head is full of dreams. Tears are a proof of failure. You just gotta let them flow without judge.
And then another thing that I got from Amazon, I found this kid's electric spin toothbrush. It comes with a 1-minute timer that I just absolutely love. It has a stand, and it comes with a cup. And then for what I just knew would be Jaden's favorite part, I got this neon basketball sign, and then I hung a framed photo of his favorite basketball player. And also from Amazon too, I got these adorable basketball lights. I just love adding lights to decor. I want to get some lights like for the backyard, and like any restaurant that has like string lighting, I feel like I always want to eat there. I just love the ambiance it gives off. Like the other day, Jaden was getting ready for bed and just had like the basketball lights on, and it's just so calming and relaxing. But anyway, after hanging up the towel hook, I'm just wiping down and reorganizing the cabinet drawers before putting them back in.
You just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be.
And now just finishing up wiping down and reorganizing his clear under the sink drawers, which I will add that I did not get these for the makeover, but I have been using these for years to organize his toothpaste and his toiletries, and it's so helpful. Again, just another amazing Amazon find that I will leave in the description box for you. And again, this shower curtain came from Amazon. I will say I did have to wash this first to get like this chemical smell out, but I just love how it matches the color scheme in the bathroom.
There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be.
So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for being on this journey with me, and let me know in the comments below, what room makeover do you think I should do next? See you all on Saturday. Bye, loves.
It looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, moving on. Oh, it looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, staying strong. Oh, it looks like we're giving up your dreams to your silly demons. We're diamonds in the dust. Oh, why can't you see it? Keep getting under your thick skin, trying on not building and nesting your weaknesses. Swimming around in your bloodstream, can't make it stop. Oh, I just need to tell you that. Oh, don't let them get in your head, so don't.
Hey loves, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an extreme master bedroom makeover. I mean, we're redoing the entire room. I'm gonna repaint the walls. We're gonna rip out the old carpet, add some hard floors, also got some new furniture for the room, and just redoing the room, making it look more cozy and giving it a fresh start to the new year. So I truly hope that you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to subscribe if you are new. But Tyler's about ready to come in and start ripping everything out. So before he does, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a quick walkthrough and show you the before, and also kind of give you an idea of what our plan is too. Okay, so here is the before, which I just took down all of the Christmas decor, which is why it looks pretty blank in here. But the only thing that I did was I taped up the walls last night, except for the parts where the furniture is blocking. But I just feel like it's like the most annoying part about painting is taping up the walls. So I just like to do that a day before. But if you're wondering, if you're asking yourself what I was thinking when I picked this wall color, the answer is I do not know. It's just so dark, and I feel like it makes the room also look really heavy. So we're gonna repaint this with a much lighter color just to brighten up this space and just to make it feel more lighter in here. Also, we are finally getting rid of this dresser. It's been empty for like a year now. So we're gonna finally get rid of the dresser, get rid of the two nightstand tables because first of all, they're mismatching. We have some new ones that are coming today actually, which are matching. They're white, and I just think they'll look so much nicer. And it'll actually be our first set of matching nightstand tables. And also the carpets too. We're gonna be ripping it up because honestly, vac mopping is just way easier than steam cleaning. We did the hard floors downstairs, and honestly, I'm just so ready to put hard floors upstairs. So we're gonna be starting in the master bedroom, and eventually the entire upstairs will be hard floors, but you kind of have to break those things up a little bit because it is a lot of work and also can be very expensive. So the thing is that we have like tons of like holes in the walls and screws and like thumbtack holes from where I'm like hanging things when Tyler's not around. But I mean, just all the walls are just covered in holes. So I'm gonna be doing quite a bit of spackling. Honestly, just got quite a bit of work cut out for us. Oh yeah, and then one more thing I wanted to show you too. I wanted to show you the flooring that we're using for the master bedroom is by Home Decorators.
It's in the color King's Cottage Oak. I don't know why that's so hard to say right now, but I just love the color of it. I think it'll look really, really nice. It's not the exact same flooring that we have downstairs, but when we color matched it, it was like pretty much the same exact color. Also from Home Depot is where we picked out our paint color for the room, which is Gray Mist by Behr. It's like a taupe-ish, light grayish color. I think it'll really help brighten up this space. I think it'll look really nice with the new floors too. Anyways, I am super excited to get started, so let's pull everything out. And kicking off this extreme makeover by pulling every item out of the room, and honestly just me struggling to lift an empty dresser. But I did notice that the carpet under the dresser was turning black, which I'm not sure if that's normal for dark furniture. Let me know down in the comments, but I do know the dresser was a DIY project that I did a few years ago, and I had painted it and put new knobs on it just to kind of update a little bit. So I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. But either way, I am so excited to get all this furniture pulled out. We really haven't done like an extreme makeover of this room since we had moved in originally in 2011 or 2012. So all the furniture that we have is completely mismatched. There's really no, well, I did try to do like a boho vibe in here. It was kind of a sad attempt, but we have had many phases of like different wall colors in here. A lot of them very questionable, but really I am just a different person than I was when I was 20. So I don't know. I'm just really excited to completely redo this room, rip out the carpets and repaint the color on the walls and really just make this space more reflective of who I am today. And by the way, that's not going to be the last time that we hit that light fixture. I'm just happy it's up there really well. But anyway, so one thing that I am happy that I did before doing this room makeover is taping off the walls, because I do not mind painting. I'm one of those people, I could just paint the walls all day long. It doesn't bother me at all. But taping it off for some reason is just super annoying for me. Like I just have to keep readjusting the tape on the walls, and I don't know, I just feel like it takes forever. So if you're planning on painting your room, I definitely recommend doing the taping off part. You know, at least a day before, just because I feel like that has saved us so much time. And also, and Tyler had just taken his knife and he's just ripping it down the carpet, and then so that we can pull it out a little bit easier. But anyways, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, right. So the things that another thing that I'm really happy about is that I had just undecorated for Christmas, and I did not put any of like my normal room decorations back out. So the room was completely empty aside from like the heavier furniture. So all we had to do was really just move out the heavy furniture, and we could just get started right away to ripping up the carpet. By the way, I was really proud of myself ripping out all this carpet. It felt really, really good too, just to get rid of it, because it didn't really show on camera that well. I don't know, maybe you did see a couple spots, but I mean, the carpet that we have was just like super absorbent. Like, I don't know what the material was. It was kind of like a bumpier type material, but whatever gets spilled on there, I mean, it stays on there. Like there's no getting it up. So it just felt really good to rip up the carpet that had like 10 years worth of stains on it. But now Tyler is just taking up the tack strips. So am I. We're just tag teaming this because if you're going to put hard floors down, you do need to take up the tack strips if you had carpet before. And by the way, thank goodness for Tyler, because I probably would have had no idea where to even start on this. He's definitely the handy one out of the two of us. But again, like I said in my last video, we definitely could have hired professionals, to come in and do this. It would have been way easier, albeit a little bit more expensive. But we've always just loved doing these big DIY projects together. Just life gets so busy between work and, the kids' schedule. And I feel like these projects really just allow us to, spend some time together and learn together. Well, mostly it's me learning, but Tyler's just so patient with me and really teaches me, how to do, the little things like, ripping up tack strips.
Want the good, want the bad, all the feelings. Want you happy and sad in between them. If there's one thing I truly believe in, ordinary love, ordinary love. I wanna oversleep in your shirt 'cause it's ours. brush my teeth while you're taking a shower. If there's one thing I know, there is power in ordinary love, ordinary love. Don't you ever say you are not enough, baby, you're enough, so don't you be afraid.
And after cleaning up the tack strips, I noticed that I missed this little piece between the bathroom and the closet. So after getting all of the tack strips cleaned up, I'm just sweeping up the floors, sweeping up like the larger debris that's left behind so that when we go to lay down the flooring, everything will lay nice and flat.
So kiss me in the night, tell me that you're mine, don't need much to believe.
Ta-da! The carpets are all ripped out in here. Honestly, I was kind of disgusted while ripping it out, looking at like all the stains and everything. Like even Tyler was like, we got white carpets, right? Like it was so gross. But anyway, so now that we have all the carpets ripped out, we're gonna go ahead and start laying the floors down, which we got click lock floors, which, sorry, by the way, the acoustics in here are insane once you rip the carpet out. So bear with me, it's gonna drive me crazy though. But anyway, so we got the click lock floors for up here and also downstairs. The downstairs click lock floors, they're much thicker than the click lock floors that we got upstairs, which you want the thicker click lock floors for like high traffic areas, which obviously we want it downstairs because that's where most of the action is, I feel like. But for upstairs, like in bedrooms or non-high traffic areas, and it's okay to do the thinner click locks. And these were actually a lot more affordable than the ones that we got downstairs too, which I love. But seriously, they look so amazing. Just wait. We had to go ahead and like start laying a few down because I feel like they don't click lock the same as the ones downstairs since they're different brands. So we were playing around with it a little bit, but I think we finally got it. But seriously, it looks amazing. Like just wait. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of show you first before we start like laying all of the floors down and start going crazy. I just wanted to show you kind of what we were doing and just kind of show you the click lock floors, just in case you're thinking about doing that in your home too. Corner to get us started. And we actually just figured out what the issue was with the floors. So the downstairs floors are actually made of vinyl. These are made of laminate. So Tyler says don't be afraid that you're gonna break them when you're click locking them in because you have to be a little bit more rougher with them. But anyway, so when you're laying down these floors, you're gonna wanna start out with the longer board, and then the next row is gonna start out with, what is it, like you cut it halfway? So halfway. So you're gonna do one full board and then half a board and then a full board again. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna stagger the floors, because if you don't stagger them, it's just not gonna look right. And another important thing when you're laying down these floors is to make sure that you're not putting the same patterns together, because you don't want any like repeating patterns. So the next board that we're gonna do is actually right here. Let me move the camera. Okay, so now you're just gonna put the board up against this one. You're gonna have to put it in at a 30-degree angle. Thank you, Tyler. And then you're gonna wanna lay it down. And this is kind of where we were afraid of because it sticks up. So you wanna actually like lay it flat on the ground. So don't be afraid to break it. But then you're gonna have to take a block and then a little mallet and just kind of beat it into place. I don't know. There are better tutorials on YouTube, by the way.
You're my best friend.
And so to my point, I think I was messing up somewhere in the process of hammering the boards in. So thankfully, Tyler stepped in to fix it. Again, there are other tutorials on YouTube, but while Tyler cuts the boards and lays down the flooring, I'm just removing any screws and nails and anchors from the walls before spackling them. We seriously had so many holes in our walls, like just wait, it ends up looking like our walls like came down with a case of chicken pox. But I heard of this hack that when you take anchors or screws out of the walls, the end of putty knives are rounded so that you can smooth out the holes before spackling. Don't know if that's actually a thing or not, but it did work really well in making sure that the holes were covered and smooth. And again, there were just so many holes in our walls that needed to be covered. This is honestly something else I kind of wish I would have done the day before too, because of just how time consuming it was to find all the little holes on a dark wall, mind you, and then covering it with spackle, and then you have to wait for the spackle to dry. and then sanding it. Like, it was just really time consuming. But also, there is something just so satisfying to me about spackling a wall, especially when like it really needs it to make it look brand new. Okay, and by this point, it was starting to get a little bit later in the day, but it's time to start painting this bedroom. I absolutely love the color. It looked a little darker on screen here, but it's definitely like a really light gray, and it couldn't be more beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted. But since I'm painting over a darker color, I did end up needing 2 coats of paint, which honestly, I probably should have done a primer first, but I don't know. I guess I just didn't see a point, since either way I would have to be putting on 2 coats of paint. Definitely correct me in the comments though if I'm wrong, but I also used an edge brush too to get in the corners and along the baseboards. I also removed all the light switch covers the day before too, so that I didn't have to get paint on them. But looking back, I probably could have just taped those too instead of having to take them off and put them back on. But honestly, I was proud of myself. Clearly, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it all worked out.
Let's get some sun, baby, it's time to go. All we need to put on is the radio. I can feel the heat is rising, and that beat is hypnotizing. Oh, no, we run the show. Let's get louder, come on, lose control.
And if you're asking yourself right now, hey, why didn't you paint the walls first and then lay down your brand new floors? And the answer to that is, hey, I have no idea. I guess because we were just super motivated to try and get all this done in one day. I think the main source of motivation, though, was just wanting to be able to sleep in our bed tonight. But spoiler alert, this ended up being a 3-day project. We had to move our bed in and out several times, but honestly, you really cannot put a time limit on these things, especially when you want it to be done right and done well. And you want everything just to look the way that you want it, because honestly, it took us 10 years to do our second major master bedroom makeover. I mean, this was honestly never intended to be our forever home. Eventually, we will move, which I think is kind of the hesitation behind doing the room makeover or really just any major project. But I just kind of figured that while we're living here, we might as well make it look the way that we want it, because there is just such a connection between, what we see and what we feel. And the bedroom is a really important area, right? Like, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel at home, you want to be able to relax in your bedroom. So it is really important to make that space look the way that you want it and have it be a space that you are truly proud of and can honestly relax in. And now my handy husband is just putting together our 2 new nightstand tables that are actually matching. Guys, you have no idea how excited I am about this, but we got them on Amazon. I'll have it linked in the description box. I saw these at an Airbnb that we were staying at once, and it has like 2 little outlet plugs with USB cables so that you can like charge your phone. It also has a pull-out drawer for storage and a little space for me to put some of the books that I'm currently reading, because I love to read before bed. It just really helps me wind down at the end of the day before bed, instead of like watching TV or like scrolling through my phone. Oh, and by the way, Tyler is not using the toilet with the door wide open. It just happens to be the only thing to sit on now with everything pulled out. So there's that.
day 2 of this master bedroom makeover, and I am so exhausted. Like, I always convince myself that these projects are gonna be super easy, one-day deals, but it just literally never is. But we did make a lot of progress last night. We ended up moving our bed back in here and just calling it a night. We just found a really good halfway point. So I did just want to give you kind of a quick update and show you what we've done so far before we start moving forward today and hopefully getting everything finished, getting all the new furniture back in. Like, I'm so excited.
Okay, so here's what the master bedroom looks like so far. So it is much brighter than it was before, which honestly just makes me so happy. Like, that dark gray color just was not it for me anymore. But we have pretty much half of the flooring done. And then as far as painting, I think I just need to do a second coat on this wall and then also a second coat on this wall too. And then I will be done with painting, thankfully. But this corner over here just kind of gives you an idea of what everything is gonna look like when it's all done, which is making me seriously so excited. I feel like this corner is like what motivated me to like keep going today, because I'm just so tired. Like, I feel like it doesn't look like we did a lot, but it was just a lot of hard work. Like, even just moving everything out of here kind of just took it out of us. So hopefully today it'll be a lot easier. And then one thing that we did end up forgetting, which I swear, like last night, I knew we were forgetting something, was to move everything out of this closet. So right now Tyler's out getting a couple things that he needed from the store. So I was thinking I'm gonna take everything that's on the ground. I'm gonna take everything out of here. I'm also gonna take the clothes out too, just so he's not having to like work around all of the clothes. But I'm gonna get all of the rest of the carpet ripped up, and then I'm gonna get the tack strips ripped up too, do some sweeping so that he can just come in here and get the rest of the floors laid down.
I'd run 1,000 miles if I could run with you. And from what I have heard, you do the same thing too. I wanna say forever, we could be good together. Guess mystery loves company. Better too late than never. You know we could do better. So take a chance and run with me. Everywhere we go, we turn to paradise. All I know is that I need you in my life.
And now I'm just taking out the last bit of clothes, the last bit of shoes, the last bit of whatever is in our closet. And then I'm going to start ripping out the carpet, just doing the same routine that I did in the bedroom. So ripping out the carpet, ripping out the padding, ripping out the tack boards. And I am so glad that I did this at the first thing on day 2, because honestly, it takes a lot of energy to take everything out of the closet and rip out the carpet. But I am seriously so happy with myself and just so proud of myself that I was able to get this all done by myself with no help.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun. You only get so many trips around the sun. I wanna say forever, we could be good together. Guess mystery loves company.
And while I do this, I did also want to mention that this space, this closet, used to actually be my recording studio. But now with the carpet ripped out, it is very acousticy and echoey. So I actually got a microphone that I'm using today. So let me know down in the comments if it sounds good. I'm just going to use it the entire video just to keep it consistent. But definitely let me know if this video, like the sound quality, if it's a little bit better in this video. And also don't be afraid to hurt my feelings as if it doesn't. Love you.
In my life, let me show you how it feels to roll the dice. You know you want it, just say the word.
And so right when I finished taking everything out of the closet was when Tyler got back from the store. So now we're just taking out the bed and the bed frame for the last time, by the way. And I do have a new bed frame on the way. It was already going to take a really long time, but then we got 10 inches of snow and I don't know, it just got delayed even further. So as soon as I get that bed frame, I will do a complete update, but it's really nice. I'm so excited about it. It's like a lighter gray color, kind of similar to the new color of the walls. It also has a headboard, which I don't know, like our bed frame, like I love it, but the headboard, I don't know, it just feels like it's not complete without a headboard. So I'm really excited to get this new bed frame. Also, another thing that I want to get for the bedroom that I haven't ordered yet, but is definitely on my list is I want to get one of those like wicker egg chairs. I'll put a picture right here just so you kind of know what I'm talking about. But I think it'd be really, really cute to put it like kind of by the window so that I can read my books and just kind of relax and just make the space a little bit more cozy. But as soon as we get those two pieces of furniture, I will definitely do an update.
I'll dance until the tears are gone. No time for bad love, bad love, bad love. I'm dancing all these tears away. No time for bad love, bad love, bad love. I'm dancing all these fears away. Don't need it.
Now that the second coat of paint is all finished, you can kind of see the color as it's drying. It is so pretty. I was so excited about it. But now it's time for the fun part, and that is peeling off the tape. Like, by the way, I'm like one of those people that just love to pop pimples and peel skin like a weirdo. Like, I don't know. I just find it so satisfying. And I feel like this goes right along with it, is peeling off the tape. But now I'm just touching up the baseboards from our past room colors, which at one point it was red, which I do not know what I was thinking. Like, I loved it at first, but then quickly, I think within like a month, I was just over the red color. And our bed is right where that baseboard is, so I just never found a use to touch it up. But I want to do this room right this time and really get everything looking nice, neat, and uniform. And so I was just determined to not cut any corners like I would normally do on this room makeover.
No time for bad love, bad love, bad love. I'm dancing all these tears away. No time for bad love, bad love, bad love. I'm dancing all these fears away. Don't need it. Bad love, bad love, bad love. No time for bad love, bad love.
The trigger and I'm just blown away downright. My mind's indifferent to know what's wrong or right. Her bite is bittersweet, cause I'm stuck between her lines. She silenced me with words that shouldn't be combined. Oh, I can't go on. I'm weighing us down. Just a little bit of you and I go by to make things right.
And now we're at the end of day 2, so I am just getting everything cleaned up. Pretty much all of the floors are done besides the closet, and honestly, I was so exhausted by the end of day 2. But I was just so excited because just seeing the progress that we had made and just how different the room looks, I don't know, it just really had me excited to see the finished product. But now I am just vac mopping my floors using my Ultenic vac mop, which I will have linked down in the description box in case you are interested. It is seriously a game changer to be able to vacuum and mop at the same time. I even got some paint splatter on the floor, which I was so disappointed and bummed, but luckily the Ultenic got it right out. And seriously, even though these floors are clean, just wait until you see the yucky water that I dump out of this thing. It works really well.
I'm trying to hold on. Gotta keep on keeping on, 'cause I'm weighing us down. Just a little bit of you and I go by to make things right. I know you see me through, baby. I just want you badly now. Everything I feel is shown. There's nowhere I can hide. I can see myself falling, crashing down. I'm not in love with all the love that we've got. I'm 99.5 of all the love that we've got. 99.5 of all the love that we've got. Tell me that you're gonna be there all the way. Tell me that you're gonna be there all the way. Even out the odds, it's not rational, baby. In the wrinkles of your palms lies my destiny. I don't have a choice. Just a little bit of you and I go run to make things right. I know you see me too, baby. I just want you baby now. Everything I feel is yours. There's nowhere I can hide. I can see myself falling, crashing down. I'm not in love with all the love that we've got. I'm 99.5 of all the love that we've got. I'm 99.5 of all the love that we've got. I'm 99.5. I'm 99.5. I'm 99.5.
Okay, and moving on to day 3, decorating day. I am somebody who I think 1000% has some type of ADHD. I have never had a perfect method to decorating. My style is all over the place. I feel like I love seasonal decorating because you can be a little bit all over the place, but when it comes to like interior design, choosing and creating a specific look or a vibe in a space, like, I don't know, it just goes over my head. I'm also a very visual person. Like, I feel like I have to actually see everything in the space to know if I like it or if it works or not. I don't know. I've just always struggled with interior design. And so now I'm just using a ruler and a leveler to mark off spots where I can hang this gorgeous wooden picture frame and some wooden floating shelves that I got. And so Tyler had to go to work today, which is why you're probably not going to see him at all day 3, except for at the beginning. And that's also why I thought it was a really good idea to hang everything with just using nails. Don't worry, when Tyler came home, he fixed it with anchors. But honestly, I just have no idea what I'm doing. But hey, at least everything was straight and it did work temporarily. And also, I did not use thumbtacks, which is what 2024 Kelly would have done. But this is a new year, new me. So
Something's in the air. I can feel it everywhere. Every color seems to bloom, and there's light in every room. Now that you're looking up, I can see it in your eyes that lately it's been tough. But now the sun is rising, I'm ready
Okay, so we are coming along. It just took me forever to get those shelves hung up. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I got the shelves from Meijer, and also the picture frame is from Meijer too. And then the greenery I got from Hobby Lobby. Everything else I already had, but I have to show you this really quick because I seriously found the best deal on Temu. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so on Temu, I found a massive oversized mirror, which I mean, this is like my dream mirror. And I don't know, I just always wanted one of these like really, really big ones. I've seen them in a lot of like these different homes where they've done like really neat like interior design ideas. And I just thought it would look really, really nice in the room, but I've always passed it up because I feel like these mirrors are always like easily $200, but on Temu, I got it for $70. Not a sponsor, by the way, but I will try to have the link to this down in the description box because seriously, I was so shocked. I didn't even think it was gonna be this big. Like I was thinking for $70, it's probably gonna be something more like my height, but this is exactly what I wanted.
You say you don't wanna get in trouble, that you doing fine cause you got me. I don't wanna break your little bubble, but you gotta wake up to reality. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears are a proof of failure, you just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy, you can do whatever you like, you don't have to be ready, you just gotta trust the right, don't have to be scary, you just gotta follow the light, you're able to be happy, you can do whatever you like, you don't have to be ready, you don't have to be. I see you hesitating while you're waiting, like somebody's gonna give it to you.
And now just cleaning off the new nightstand tables, which I absolutely love. And also another thing that I love is this lamp that I got a few years ago. I got it from Meijer. I believe that they still have them because I did see them the other day. Originally, they were in the dog's room. And I couldn't decide if I liked this one or if I liked the one on my side of the bed. But I think I really like the tree branch one. I just think it really brings in kind of more of that like woodsy type of vibe. So I'm definitely going to get another one for the other side of the table. But for now, this one is going to have to do. So now I'm just getting my books set up under the nightstand table. Oh, and also these nightstand tables are LED because marriage is all about compromise.
You don't have to be ready, you don't have to be, you don't have to be ready, you don't have to be. You are like me, and I'm like you. You are like me, and I'm like you. There's so many ways to be happy, you can do whatever you like, you don't have to be ready, you just gotta trust the right, don't have to be scary, you just gotta follow the light, you're able to be happy, you can do whatever you like, you don't have to be ready.
Okay, just wanted to show you my little light at the end of the tunnel. The closet is finally complete, or at least the floors are, which honestly, it's gonna be such a relief to get all of our clothes back in this closet because we've been having to alternate between closets the last couple days just to get dressed every day. So it's gonna feel so nice to get everything put back in here and just do kind of a little bit of a reorganize, especially my stuff.
I bet you think that I should calm down.
And now going through and decluttering, I guess, what is like the junk drawer of our closet. If you're asking yourself, didn't you just do a closet declutter? The answer is probably yes. My closet, all of our closets really could use a declutter at least like once a month, or at least like a really good tidy. I just feel like everything gets so disorganized and chaotic in the closets really quickly. And now I'm just organizing and tidying and folding all of Tyler's ties. The best way that I could do it, it's actually the KonMari method, is just to fold them in half and then roll them up. And then that way they kind of just stand up on their sides and it just looks really neat and tidy too.
Don't let me go when I come real close. I don't want to get hurt, 'cause I'm not ready to give you my heart yet. Before I'm too invested, I should probably ask you all my questions, get to know you better. Like, can you be trusted? Will you take me for granted?
And now let's move on to my PJs and also like some old clothes that I just threw up there while we were doing this declutter, because I couldn't find our hamper. Like everything upstairs was just a mess after pulling everything out. But I'm just going through all my PJs. I am definitely a cozy, comfy girl. Like I feel like I just am constantly buying PJs and soft pants and warm clothes. So really my PJs just need a good declutter every month. One thing I do want to do this year is to get on more of like a cleaning schedule and also like a decluttering routine. So if that's something that you want to see, definitely let me know down in the comments. I can definitely do that for you. I mean, either way, that's something that I'm going to be doing this year just because I just need to keep up with all of the chaos and all of the stuff that we just accumulate and build up throughout the month. I don't know, I just feel like it would make it a lot easier if I have a routine or a schedule to kind of go by.
Trees aren't green, the ocean is gray, sky is a vague blue, come my way. My room is a mess, it could use a hand. My favorite TV shows are capturing. I know I must get it right, must get back in the fight. This can't be a surprise, I think I'll let it slide. I'm sleepwalking through all of my problems. I know I can't make it through. Every night it's the same. I keep running fast, left and right, wondering where my head's gone now. I'm sleepwalking through all of my problems. I know all of my problems. I know. Where did it go? The feeling of thirst, desire to be a rock in my heels. I'm numb as a poison, flows in my veins. Guess I got used to avoiding the pain. I know I must get it right, must get back in the fight. This can't be a surprise, I think I'll let it slide. I'm sleepwalking through all of my problems. I know I can't make it through. Every night it's the same. I keep running fast, left and right, wondering where my head's gone.
And now I'm just using my Altenetic vac mop to give the floors a final clean, but I am truly obsessed with this room makeover. It's exactly how I've always wanted it to look. When Jaden saw it, he said it's the best our room has ever looked. He's so sweet. And Tyler said that it looks like an IKEA model room. But let me know what you think of this extreme makeover in the comments because I'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I have lots of exciting things planned for 2025. And also, I am really sorry about my sporadic uploads. I am working this year to getting 2 videos out to you a week. I'm just not sure on what days they are going to be, so that's why the videos are just kind of popping up sporadically. But I am working on it, and I will let you know as soon as possible when I get, my life together. But that is all for me today, so I will see you all in the next one. Bye, loves.
I think I let it slide.